We're going live now. That doesn't mean to leave. I know I'm already singing, but that's just me being me.
Like half the audience just left.
That's all right. The other half's still here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. He's Jack. Say hello.
Hi, everybody.
Jack, how are you tonight, my friend?
Usual. How are you?
Better than yesterday. Much, much better. And
Good.
enjoying it. Plus, we had a beautiful day here in Michigan, man.
Oh.
We had to go outside. We had to go do a little light shopping.
Oh.
And we walk outside, and both me and Lady Monkey at the same time, like, what? Wow. Because it's been cold, so we don't have the windows open and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like 70 degrees out.
Yep. Don't get used to it. It's
No,
gonna do it until like tomorrow, maybe Friday, and then it's gonna take a big steaming shit on you.
Yeah, like I said, we're last I knew expecting at least a dusting on Halloween. So, is what it is. I enjoyed it while I could. Phoebe enjoyed it. She went out and played for a little bit, and then she sat in the window and just sniffed at the air coming through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's so much better day than yesterday. So, I was more awake and more coherent, I guess is the word I want to say. I don't like saying I'm not coherent, but sometimes I feel like I'm not very coherent. And
Story of my life, dude.
Because of that, I maybe the news just made me laugh more today than normal. Starting with our first story about the ACLU. Good God Almighty.
Yeah.
Can we please stop making it okay to purposefully give people AIDS?
Apparently they're not going to be happy till everybody has some kind of really fucked up disease.
Alan, thank you so very much. Who says hello, monkey? Hello to you, sir. Hope you're well. All right, let's get into this, shall we? Out there in Tennessee, Jack, they have a law that's been there for a while. It's not even a new law, but it makes it it takes prostitution from being a misdemeanor to a felony if you have AIDS. If you're an AIDS riddled, sorry, HIV. Got to be clear here. An HIV riddled whore, and you're out there selling your ass, knowing you have AIDS. They're like, yeah, you can't do that. It's a felony. And then a couple of years ago, they made it so you had to register on the sex offenders registry.
Yeah, because you're giving people AIDS.
The ACLU was like, nah, bro, that's wrong. You can't be doing that. And their reasoning for this, oh, it pisses me off, Jack. It pisses me off so much. Breaking. We're suing Tennessee for their aggravated prostitution statute that targets people with HIV. It targets them, Jack, with harsh punishment and lifetime sex offender registration. This law is unconstitutional. No, it's not. And disproportionately affects Black and transgender women.
Bullshit.
You know why it affects transgender women more?
Why?
Because it's pretty hard for guys to get, AIDS from an actual woman.
Oh.
It's just true.
I don't understand why they're defending people spreading HIV. That is disturbing to me.
They go on, and here's why. This is their reasoning for it.
Christ.
The law elevates engaging in sex work from a misdemeanor to a felony based on someone's HIV status, a protected disability.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No. That is their reasoning for it, is that it is a disability, which as a disabled person, I don't pull this card very often, but as a disabled person, I find that offensive as fuck.
Yeah. It's a behavioral disease. I'm sorry. Having AIDS must suck balls. I never want to get it, obviously.
Sure.
But if some whore gives you AIDS and you transmit that to your wife, what did your wife do to deserve that? Other than poor choice in partners.
Well, sure,
no,
yeah.
she shouldn't be able to these whores shouldn't be able to spread HIV all over the place. I mean, that's knowingly giving someone a communicable disease like that is fucking repulsive.
Yeah, and
That's a death sentence. This is manslaughter.
ACLU, thank you so much. It says, please consider suing yourself twice to the back of the head. I personally am going to pass, but I get what you're going at there.
Right? Real quick. Thank you, Alan, who says, hello, Jack. Hi, Alan. Hope you're doing good.
Jack, their argument is partially based on, hey, it's not a death sentence anymore. It's not a death sentence. It is. But they're out there now telling people, hey, if you take this pill, you'll never give anybody else AIDS.
Oh, so we're relying on prostitutes to take their medication on time and be honest about it? Okay, Chief.
My favorite part of this is actually in an article from NBC News. Let's switch over to that tab. Where we're going to scroll down. Where is it at? See, what they're really mad about is the having to register as a sex offender. You see, because having to do that will ruin your life. And where is it? There's somewhere in here where they actually make the argument, hey, when you put them on the sex offender registry, all that means is they can't get ahead in life. They can't make any money, so they have to be whores. But they were whores to begin with.
Yeah, it's some circular logic. Like, they're already prostituting and they're disease riddled. What kind of fucking job are you going to get? McDonald's?
They almost make it sound like you can actually get, if it wasn't for this damn law, you could do pretty good as a whore. You'd be all right. It's just really, really stupid. I'm sorry I don't have the exact quote pulled up here. I really should have, but I'm going to throw this into chat for those of you who want to get a little more information on the background of all of this. But yeah, this stems mostly from the sex offender registry, because they're like, we're not going to be able to be whores. And my neighbor, he found me on the sex offender registry and he made fun of me for it. Here's one thing I do think. I think the sex offender registry needs to be changed. First of all, there are some things on there that don't belong on there. You pee in public and they get caught, and you get caught. That should not be, hey, he showed his dick to everybody. You were just peeing in public.
Yeah.
But I do think they need to change the sex offender registry so that instead of it just saying Class C felony, it should actually say what you did.
I agree. That way you can separate your kid diddlers from Romeo and Juliet and people with just like spreading the HIV. I would like to know what the particulars are.
Thank you, Snubber, who says, aren't HIV people already in a medical database? That list doesn't seem to bother them. Well, this is a public list, and if I remember correctly, the HIV one isn't, is it?
I don't think so.
That's for like health departments and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us see the specific crime. And then the whores can be like, hey, I just had sex with somebody with HIV. I think they should have to wear a scarlet H, if I'm being honest.
Out there selling their booty.
Yeah.
It should be on their booty shorts. It says,
yes. Why are we trying to make this? One, stop calling it a disability. I understand that it's a disease that riddles them, but this is something that they can actually pass to other people. This isn't, you lost your leg. And, if you lose your leg, Jack, and you run into somebody else, unless you do it with your car, you're not going to make them lose their leg.
Yeah.
If you have AIDS and you're fucking other people, there's a good chance you're going to be spreading that to other people. You should not get away with that. Knowing that you could be doing it. And frankly, I do blame the medical community a little bit for this, because they are out there lying to people like, no, you just take this little pill and you'll never give anybody AIDS ever. Have you seen those commercials?
Yep.
They're fucking disgusting.
Well, I mean, I'm not worried about the coof because shots.
Tall person, thank you. Happy Food Day. Yes, just food day is a day. My Schadenfreude has been well fed today. Leftists are crying about cancel culture and pro-ZD reaping what he has sown. Who's pro-ZD?
I don't know, but he's reaping what he's sown, so I'm all for that.
I'm not sure who that is. But yeah, the left, well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I had a really annoying argument with that earlier. But the ACLU, they've never been the greatest organization, Jack. They've
It used
always
to be a
been,
lot better than this.
yeah. It was what, 2 years ago or last year that they came out. The one thing that you could always say about them is at least they stood up for free speech, and they're like, nah, we're not doing that anymore. And they've filed some of the dumbest lawsuits I've ever seen, and this is one of them.
They're picking some weird battles lately.
There are 4 plaintiffs in this case, one of which who's in jail right now, who's eligible for parole but won't even try to get parole because they say living on the outside with the sex offender registry thing would just be too hard. They're going to stay in prison. Yeah, there you go. Spread your AIDS around jail. That's much better.
I get that. I mean, some people become institutionalized too. They can't handle the lack of structure out in the real world.
I think this person's just staying in for the case, if I'm being honest. Thank you, Snubbers, who says AIDS isn't a death sentence anymore. I think most people beg for death before the end. It's not a pretty way to go.
No, it's a pretty horrible way to go.
There's a reason they used to call it gay cancer.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have all this nonsense where we're making it okay to spread this. And they're like, this is from decades old stuff where people were afraid of AIDS. I'm just going to throw this out there. You should be afraid of HIV.
Okay, so ProZD said is apparently, according to the chat, a voice actor who advocated for people to be limited to playing roles that are their race. And now he's complaining about being forced to play only Asian roles.
Whoopsie. Well, good on him. We have another actor in the news we'll talk about later. Worried about the cancel culture stuff. So, not a good day for actors, I guess.
Yeah, that'll happen. Also, thank you, Tall Person. Happy National Crazy Day. ProZD's an Asian voice actor who is one of those who thought you should only voice like, and is pissy he's getting typecast for only voicing Asians. Oh, so
well,
that's confirmed then. Oh, he's Korean. Thank you, Ebony.
It's what you asked for. And you know what? In that case, he should only be getting Korean roles. Specifically Korean characters. Because look, Korean and Chinese and Japanese are not all the same thing.
Oh yeah, you don't ever want to mistakenly call a Japanese person Chinese.
Yeah. So only
you'll
Korean.
Find out how good their karate is.
And my guess would be South Korean too. So he couldn't even play a North Korean.
No, he's probably too tall.
North
Koreans are real short. That's
what you get, dickhead.
I believe that is called the consequences of my own actions.
Yeah. It's a damn shame when that stuff hits you in the face. Which, I mean, karma is a bitch, and I really hope that the ACLU here doesn't accidentally get AIDS from fucking whores. No, I kind of do, if I'm being honest. The people who came up with this shit. Show me how easy it is to live with your disability, shithead, that you're spreading. Can you think of another disability that it's okay to spread? Anybody? You know what I would have to do to spread my disability, Jack? I'd have to hit you in the neck with something.
Well, I would use this as precedent to spread all sorts of communicable diseases. Tuberculosis, which the migrants are doing. Thank you very much for that, Southern Border. Typhoid. Typhoid Mary not guilty these days under these people's lawsuit here. You could argue all kinds of crazy diseases. The herpaderp.
No, man, you got the COVID, run up into a old folks home and just start coughing.
Yeah, I mean you're creating a very dangerous precedent here, ACLU. Because if you argue that they shouldn't be on the sex offender registry, which I don't necessarily disagree with, but that could easily be translated into any other kind of database. They'll use it as precedent for other diseases or other issues. I'm going
But
to
see,
get my girlfriend hooked on heroin. Oh, you can't come after me. How dare you?
you're going the disease route, and I support you there, but I want to take it even further and go the cripple route, the actual disability route. And so, like, if you're missing a leg, it should be okay to cut somebody else's leg off.
Do you think that's why JF killed his potato? Because he was worried she was turning him into a potato?
Might have been, might have been.
Oh my God. The
But I
potato
mean,
menace.
like, it's a disability. Well, there's no other disability that you can spread. Seriously, you can't spread cancer.
What
I
about
mean,
genetic stuff? Like somebody said autism in the chat.
how do you mean?
Well, if you're a carrier for something that would be considered like a disability, like a genetic disease like sickle cell anemia or MS.
You're not giving that to somebody in the sense of you went out and, like, most people, if they do have it, don't even know they carry the genes. So I guess,
Ignorance is no excuse to the law.
but in these cases, I mean, it is, you have to know you have it because you're purposefully spreading.
Oh, what about the monkeypox?
I suppose so. I guess if you're Downsy and you're banging another Downsy, then we should be like, hey, you guys can't do that because you might make a Downsy kid.
If you're down the end, you know it. Say yay! Oh,
There's no other disability where you can just be in contact with somebody, even rubbing your body against them, and you give them that disability.
yeah, you're right. No, I can't think of one.
This shit needs to stop. We need to just stop coddling people. And look, I'm sorry that AIDS is still mostly affecting the gay community. We tried convincing everybody that it was getting people with, needles and stuff. Magic Johnson fucked a guy, let's be honest. But the truth of the matter is, it's mostly a gay disease. And if you guys want it to go away, stop fucking each other like there's no tomorrow. Take care of your wang and it'll be fine.
Wait, you expect personal responsibility?
Yes.
I'm sorry, sir. We don't do that anymore.
AIDS would have went away really quickly if they just, like, hey, gay people, stop fucking for a while so we can figure out who has it and you guys only can fuck each other. It would have went away. And we're like, no, we can't offend them. Can't offend people and tell them to take responsibility for themselves. And we're making it even worse now.
Yep. Well,
Magic Johnson didn't fuck a guy. A guy fucked him. That's fair. That's fair.
yeah, he could have been bottom.
He almost had to have been bottom, statistically.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe he was going, both ways there. Thank you, Evolved Potato. People like him are also complaining that the Bleach anime is using the original voice actor for a tanned Asian character instead of a black voice actor because they think anyone that isn't pale white is black. They're the most racist people. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Hey, guys, it sounds like that guy's getting what he deserves, so fuck him.
Yeah, screw that guy.
I'm happy with that.
That's consequences, man.
Speaking of dark-skinned actors, Richard Roundtree died. And just tip of the hat to the man. This is Shaft, for those of you who don't know who Richard Roundtree is. He's also been in a ton of other things. Especially in his later life, he had a lot of smaller roles.
Yeah, he was in Q, the Winged Serpent.
He was in Seven.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of stuff, and he passed away of pancreatic cancer today at the age of 81.
Yeah, that sucks.
81's a good run, but what a horrible way to go. I was reading an article about him. He had breast cancer.
Really?
I think it was back in 93 he got diagnosed with breast cancer.
Ooh, that's a rough time to get breast cancer.
He had
He
had a double mastectomy.
Wow.
Yeah, he had like bad breast cancer. They took both of his boobies off. Wow. Just a reminder, guys can get breast cancer. Gentlemen, check. It's not common, but it can happen.
Yeah, Moonshock had it. That's not a secret. He's talked about it before.
Shroom says, just a bit of trivia. Shaft was written as being a white man. Well, whoever made the decision to have Richard Roundtree do it instead is a fucking genius.
Yeah, because he was one bad mother.
That dude had more cool than the entirety of Hollywood right now put together.
He had more testosterone than the entirety of Hollywood put together.
That is true. That is absolutely true. Snubber, thank you. Still a whiny baby about South Park, everything but his sacred cow. Who? Who's a whiny baby about South Park?
Probably that dude they were all talking about. Shut my mouth. I'm just talking about Shaft.
Shut your mouth. Yeah, pretty much Shaft kicks off the blaxploitation era of Hollywood, which led to some okay movies and some just stinkers.
Those are called classics, sir, and it's an entire genre called blaxploitation.
Real quick, Tailfin, I think Snub, I think you might be right. I think you might be thinking of Isaac Hayes, Snubber.
Yeah, Isaac Hayes did the voice of Chef.
Yeah, and in that case, at least according to Isaac Hayes' son, after Isaac died, that was the church really taking advantage of somebody that was going through their Biden years.
Yeah. Isaac Hayes wrote the theme song for Shaft.
Yes, he did.
Most of the music for the movie. That's how they're related. Richard Roundtree actually was the actor that played Shaft.
And Shaft led basically to one of my favorite movies ever, I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, which is kind of knockoff of that.
I thought you were going with Black Dynamite.
I've still never seen Black Dynamite.
Oh my God, that is such a great movie.
Yeah, everybody keeps telling me to watch it, and one day I will. But
I would also recommend My Name is Dolomite.
That's another
Eddie
one
Murphy.
that I get recommended a lot.
Yeah, because that movie was fucking great. Eddie Murphy's actually a really good actor, and it shows in that one. But if you've never seen the original Dolomite, man, that movie is so hilariously bad. But the movie about the movie is even better because it goes into like that guy's music career and everything. Good time.
Thank you, Kevin Sarbold, who says Disney's trying to sue South Park over Pandemonium. I've seen videos about that. I haven't watched them, but I've seen, them talking about South Park and Disney, but I haven't paid really much attention to that. This is one of their specials, right? And Disney's pissed off about it.
Yep.
Disney's pissed off about everything lately because their content sucks and everybody's making fun of them for it.
Yep. They're not going to win because South Park's parody, and everybody knows it.
Yep. And there's not much you can do about that when it comes to copyright law. Parody is allowed.
They're just bullying them into trying to bleed them out of money.
Yep. And Disney's done this for a long time with anybody who even makes a kind of mouse-shaped character. They're like, that's a Disney character.
Mm-hmm.
Parody's still allowed. And the smart people go through the process. It's very expensive because Disney is, well-funded, deep-pocketed. But fuck Disney, man.
Yeah, fuck them. I hope their shitty movies keep losing money.
Me too. And I hope it leads them to be like, you know what? Maybe Walt was right, and it should be a family thing and not us pushing nonsensical SJW woke bullshit on people.
Yeah, I won't hold my breath on that part.
Yeah. Disney abuses copyright law to the extreme. You're not wrong there.
Yeah, they've changed the law several times to extend it. That's why we have the amazing copyright law we do now, which is actually pretty fucking amazing. Because it gives you, if you've registered since the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, roughly, your work is yours starting when you register it. Well, when you create it, but you register it, and then you're protected under federal guidelines until 70 years after your death.
I thought it was 75. Is it only 70?
It's only 70.
So yeah, and it's retarded and it needs to stop. But anyhow, I don't know enough about what's going on with them to talk intelligently about the South Park specifically. So let's talk about something that I can talk as intelligently as possible about, Jack.
Oh, yeah?
Jenna Ellis pled guilty today.
Yep, she took the plea deal.
She is the fourth person in the RICO case to take a plea deal. We had Sidney Powell, that guy whose name I can't remember, and then some low-level guy. All have taken plea deals. It should be the low-level guy was actually involved in getting his hands on an election machine, which is highly illegal. And that is not something Trump himself is accused of. Kevisar, thank you. And because of that, Parker is talking about a season beyond the special. Disney's definitely pissed about it. Oh, and hi, Monk, and some other dude. Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Hi.
But these people are taking plea deals that are basically slaps on the hand. Like Ellis, her plea deal is that, 5 years probation and a $5,000 fine. I'd take that deal. And in Georgia, there's a law that says if you're a first-time offender, you do your time and there's no other stuff, then it falls completely off your record. So in 5 years, she has a clean slate. Which I'm really curious how that works. Do you get a new clean slate? You know what I mean?
I think it's a one-time thing.
But then it's not really a clean slate, is it? You can't have
a clean slate in the sense that they're not going to hold it against you until you fuck up again.
It can't be a clean slate if there's a condition on it.
Depends how you define clean slate. Is it good enough for government work clean, or is it actually clean?
Look, I didn't write the law, so I have no idea.
Yeah, it's a good enough for government work kind of thing, where you half-ass it, and they're like, good enough.
There was other news that broke today that it shouldn't have been news to anybody. We'll get to Ellis in a second, but it came out that Mark Meadows had been given immunity so they would testify in front of the grand jury. Well, I don't know why anybody is surprised by that. That happens a lot with witnesses in front of a grand jury. In fact, it's a way that they force people to testify in front of a grand jury. Be like, and I can't do that because that would incriminate me. They're all right, fine. We won't hold anything that you say against you here. So I don't know why everybody's treating this like it's a big deal. It's not like he pled out in the Georgia case.
Mm-hmm.
He might still, because let's be honest, the only person they really care about is Trump.
Yeah.
If you're maybe Giuliani, if you're looking at some of the most egregious stuff that happened, Sidney Powell is one of the worst, and they gave her a slap on the fucking hand. Another one of these ones, it's just probation and a fine. And they take all these big charges and like, oh, no, just some election interference bullshit. But, Jack, we have video.
Oh, hey, before we get to that, thank you, Evolved Potato. I don't even mean how they got the copyright law changed. I mean how they use a vague connections to their properties as a pretext to bleed new IPs of money. Even if they lose the suit, they can extend it so long it never gets to court. Yeah, that's their main thing is anybody that's got even vaguely similar stuff. They just pile on legal paperwork and bleed you dry. The copyright stuff is there to protect their IP, like Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse was due to fall into public domain a long ass time ago, but because they keep getting copyright law changed, it's dragged that process out. And Steamboat Willie's due to fall into public domain in a couple years, so you can expect them to do another big push for that.
Yeah, the copyright will be extended to 150 years.
Probably.
They'll be like, it's inflation.
Yeah. Uncle Walt wanted it this way.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Look, Mickey Mouse, if somebody came out with a new Mickey Mouse, Disney would still own their Mickey Mouse. Just because somebody else has a mouse running around named Mickey, they'd have to like change his shorts and everything so he's not wearing the red, you know.
Yeah, well, only Steamboat Willie version of Mickey Mouse would be in public domain, not the current iteration.
No, fair enough. But actually, wouldn't the current one also have fallen off by now without all the lawsuit or all the law?
Without all the extensions,
yeah.
It should have fallen off in like the early 90s, I think. But they've gotten it changed so much.
Yeah, this is what they keep doing, and their whole reasoning is that it's like, hey, this is our brand, and it is, but you guys made the majority of your money not off of Steamboat Willie. Let's be honest, it's because of Snow White.
Yeah.
Which was not a Disney created property. They took an existing story in public domain and made a movie about it.
Yeah. But their iteration of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is protected because it has distinctive features, like her dress, that sort of thing. But they're going to extend that shit as long as possible because they don't like giving anything up.
So for a company that basically made their bones that way, because without Snow White, Walt Disney fails. And that's true. You guys can look that shit up. Well, that's what put them on the map and kept them going and made them the company they are. But for a company that did it that way, to be so fucking douchey about the way they handle copyright, fuck Disney. Anyway, we have Jenna here, Jack. She's gonna read her statement. I'm so glad this got recorded.
Oh yeah, her struggle session.
I think yes, exactly. I think all of these should be recorded for all of us to see. It should be done live, and well, it may actually end up being, because this isn't federal court. I think the Jack Smith stuff should be too, but in federal court they don't allow cameras. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, this looked like a hostage video when I watched it.
It really does. Now, guys, it is a little bit quiet, and there's not a way for me to turn it up, but it's mostly quiet because she's crying throughout the whole thing. I shouldn't laugh about that, but all right. This is Jenna Ellis, former lawyer involved in the lawsuits around 2020, pleading guilty to a lesser charge.
Thank you, Your Honor, for the opportunity to address the court.
She started off crying at the "thank you for letting me address the court." She hadn't even got to the particulars yet. Tell me this woman isn't doing this under duress.
Right? That's the sound of somebody who's like, I'm selling my soul here.
Yeah. Look, there's a reason to take this plea deal even if you aren't guilty. And it sucks, and it is a problem with our system, and I have a solution, Jack. I have a solution. But
Wars with AIDS?
No. Although that's a very Canadian solution. You got it, didn't you? Anyhow, I think that, like in this case, Fannie Willis coming after her, she doesn't have the money to defend herself because it's expensive. It's very expensive to defend yourself.
Yeah.
In civil cases, in many jurisdictions, Jack, if you sue somebody and you lose, you have to pay their legal fees.
Yeah.
So I propose that in criminal cases, if the defendant gets off, the state has to pay their legal fees.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Because you know that whole a lawyer will be appointed to you. That's not all of the charges, or all of the charges is the right word, but financial strain you're going to suffer.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling if we had a law like that, we would not have seen Sidney Powell. We would not have seen Jenna Ellis here. I don't think you'd see many people flip in this case. But anyway, as I was saying, she's already crying, and she's just basically introducing herself. I don't know why this guy's checking out her butt. I really don't. I didn't know her butt was that big either, because he's way behind. Oh, Dark Resurrect, thank you so much for that feminist $12. Which reminds me, I missed 2 donations from before the show. I got to get in here too. But Dark Resurrect, thanks so much for that feminist $12. I've been seeing a lot of people saying that these people pleading guilty makes Trump guilty. They also say that they will turn on Trump. Thoughts? Well, the people that are involved right now, could they turn on Trump? Well, part of their plea deal is that they will testify honestly whenever they're called.
Honestly, let's put that in air quotes.
Well, the problem with that is it does make them a questionable witness, because this is somebody who got a sweetheart deal. She was facing, 10 years in prison, something like that. And instead
Yeah.
she gets 5 years probation and only a $5,000 fine. So it makes them a questionable witness when they get up there in front of a jury. The defense just has to go, what kind of sweetheart deal did you get for this? Do I think it'll work? Or my thoughts on it? I don't think it makes Trump guilty. I don't think it even makes them guilty. Taking a plea deal does not make you guilty. Sometimes it's just the smartest thing to do. It's the reality of our legal system. Assassin of the Gray, thank you. I was wrong. I was seduced by Emmanuel Coldstone. I think, or Colts. I mean, Orange Man bad. I love Big Brother and wish to be executed immediately for my thought crimes. Have to Galactus Jack. Thank you so much, Gray. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Assassin.
And before the show last night, actually it was this morning, disgruntled technician coming through with 2 feminist $12 donations. The first one says, in Missouri, we got rid of our helmet law. I really should put my glasses on. I don't even know where I put them. In Missouri, we got rid of our helmet law, but they refused to get rid of our seatbelt law. This is in relation to what we were talking about at the end of the show last night. I'm not sure how to read into that, but I don't like it regardless. Yeah, I don't like seatbelt laws. Wear your seatbelts, but it should be your choice. And then the second feminist $12 from disgruntled technician. Thank you. I'm fairly upset about the Supreme Court opinion too. We spent years fighting to get this law passed, and it was immediately taken from us. And then the Supreme Court decides to go against themselves to make us wait longer. Yeah, the Missouri versus Biden cases, that was such a fucked up decision yesterday. All right, let's get back to Miss Jenna here.
Just a second. Thank you, Travis Gardner. I have a request. Can you say this in Rudy Giuliani voice? I don't know if I could do his voice. Cat pervert. That's the best I could do for Giuliani. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't do his little weird lisp thing he has.
Yeah, can't. I'd probably have to be drunk to pull off a Giuliani, even remotely, because he's got kind of a lisp. The cat pervert. That sounds like Sylvester.
Yeah. All right, lady, take it away with your nice Apple Watch. I'm so tired of seeing Apple Watches. I miss old-fashioned watches.
Check your money hole.
What's that?
Check your money.
Oh, thank you, Bald Potato. A better idea, Monk, is the state will pay your legal fees out of the prosecutor's salary. Because if the prosecutor doesn't get punished in some way, they won't care. It'll just be the taxpayer being punished. Well, how about we take it out of instead of their salary specifically, we take it out of the budget for the prosecutor's office. Either way, all they'll do is still make the taxpayer pay for it. But anyway, here we go.
As an attorney who is also a Christian, I take my responsibilities as a lawyer very seriously.
As an attorney who's also a Christian, I take my responsibilities as a lawyer very seriously. Should you really be bringing Jesus into this?
She probably needs all help she can get. I mean, let's face it, this was probably an Alfred plea because she knows that they've got something they can throw at her that will probably stick.
See, I honestly don't think it's that. I think it's purely a money thing.
It might be. But yeah, with the situation she was in, this probably is her best option.
Why is she crying? Because she's selling her soul to the devil.
Yeah, because she probably didn't do anything wrong in real life, but this isn't real life. This is a courtroom where reality doesn't matter. And they were going to pin something on her, and she's looking at 10 years. So she took the deal so she could try to avoid that. And it's a little bit of a struggle session. This whole thing is a political witch hunt.
Yeah, of course it is.
And I endeavor to be a person of sound moral and ethical character in all of my dealings. In the wake of the 2020 presidential election, I believed that challenging the results on behalf of President Trump should be pursued in a just and legal way. I endeavored to represent my client to the best of my ability. I relied on others, including lawyers with many more years of experience than I, to provide me with true and reliable information.
All right, that's a cop out. I'm sorry. This right here is how you know that her specifically, this is not about Trump. This is about Giuliani. I relied on lawyers with many more years of experience. That's not Donald Trump. That's Sydney, who already, turned herself over.
Yeah.
And they really want Giuliani.
They want to get somebody out of this. If they can't get Trump, they'll settle for Giuliani.
What she's admitting here is doing her job as a lawyer.
Yep.
And never mind. Let's just keep watching.
Especially since my role involved speaking to the media and to legislators in various states. What I did not do, but should have done, Your Honor, was to make sure that the facts the other lawyers alleged to be true were in fact true.
Well, yeah, you probably should have done that, but when you're talking about, see, one of the things that they were charging her with is lying about, how many dead people voted and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which again is worst case scenario in most instances would be a slap on the hand. She went up before the Georgia legislature and went, 35,000 dead people voted, or whatever the number was. I think it was 38,000 is the one they were floating around.
Something like that.
But regardless, that is, it rises to the level of throwing somebody in prison for 10 years.
No, it doesn't. Also, Jenna's getting kind of fat, but I don't want you to be distracted by that, because off to her right, try not to make direct eye contact, is old lady Lacey Green.
The Muppet over here?
Mm-hmm. That is old lady Lacey Green, or time travel old Stewie.
Thank you, Jesus, who says, jingle jangle goes the silver pieces, right, Judas Ellis? Look, I don't blame her for this. I really don't. If I was in her shoes and this was the deal they were offering me, I'd take it too.
It's a sweet deal.
It is. I do wonder if she purposefully matched her watch to her shirt here.
Oh, maybe.
Like, does she have different bands that goes with each of her clothes, or did it just happen that this is the shirt that matches her watch?
Maybe she has different watches for each occasion.
Yeah, perhaps.
In the frenetic pace of attempting to raise challenges to the election in several states, including Georgia, I failed to do my due diligence. I believe in and I value election integrity. If I knew then what I know now, I would have declined to represent Donald Trump in these post-election challenges. I look back on this whole experience with deep remorse. For those failures of mine, Your Honor, I have taken responsibility already before the Colorado bar who censured me.
That is true. She was censured by the Colorado bar last year.
Something like that.
For false statements.
And I now take responsibility before this court and apologize to the people of Georgia. Thank you.
Yeah. Can you say struggle session?
It so looked like a struggle session.
That looks like the prosecutors wrote that for her. Like, say this.
Well, they probably did.
That one line about, I relied on lawyers who had more experience than me. That is a tell right there, man. That is a tell.
Yeah, I agree.
Rudy, you want to duck, homie? They are coming for you. What they're hoping is that Rudy will flip on Trump.
That's what I think's going on too.
In the Mark Meadows thing, Trump came out today and he made a statement saying that, he doesn't believe that Mark would lie about what went on in the 2020 election. And from what we've been told, the damning evidence that Mark Meadows provided was that he told Trump that he lost the election.
So that doesn't mean that Trump believed him.
Exactly. None of this shit matters if Trump genuinely believed he won the election. And nobody's been able to prove has it. All they point to is, well, somebody said it to him. So, do you know how many times people say shit to me and I still don't believe them? Largely because I'm a smart guy and I usually argue with idiots, Jack. But still, just the notion that somebody said something to you doesn't mean shit. Not a damn thing.
Right?
He's still allowed his own opinion, even if everybody that he knew, even literally everybody, Barron comes up to him and goes, Dad, you lost the election. That doesn't mean he believed it. And that's what's important in these cases. Now, in the RICO case here, there is some I don't want to put this, legal issues for some of the people involved. And this goes back to what I mentioned a little bit ago about getting their hands on an actual voting machine.
Yeah.
In questionable ways. And there are some people who are probably going to either plead out because they were involved in that, or be found guilty because they were involved in that. But that doesn't go all the way up to Trump. Trump was not involved in that stuff. Just how it is. So anyway.
Well, that won't stop them from trying to make that connection.
That is true. That is 100% true. Jack, I thought it might be fun, since this came up today on Twitter, to revisit the cat pervert.
That's so fucking funny.
Well, when Empress had tweeted out, this person I follow over there, her name is Empress of Neptune, I think.
Yeah.
She had tweeted out this video from TikTok, and it's a cat laying on a car, clearly with balls showing. I just got to throw that out there. It is important.
That's obviously an outdoor cat that wasn't spayed or neutered.
I'm listening to it, and it sounds so familiar. And when they're talking about this cat who's in somebody else's yard, and we'll get to it in a second. We'll get to it in a second. But they keep saying she, her, and I'm like, that cat clearly has testicles. He's not shy about them.
Yeah, he's like, look at my balls. Look at my cat balls.
And then when he said cat pervert, it hit me. I was like, oh, this guy. So somebody took the audio from this video here and just dubbed it onto this video of this cat sitting out there sunning his nuts, which now I kind of want to try, honestly.
Don't do that. I think it was Josh Brolin tried the sun tanning your butthole thing and got sunburn.
No, I don't want to be out there for very long.
Yeah, but I mean, with your luck, you'll fall down and be stuck there for half an hour, and then you'll have a sun-scorched ball sack.
Think about this. You ever walk out in the sun and just feels like a warm hug? Imagine that on your testicles. Just feels like a warm hug.
I think I'll pass on that one. But before we play this, it's a good time to remind everybody we're brought to you by you. If you're enjoying the show, please hit the like button, share it on your social media, subscribe if you haven't. And if you're feeling so inclined, toss us a couple bucks at the Streamlabs link going through the chat, pinned at the top of the YouTube chat, and in the description. And thank you to all of you that are dropping the links.
Q, thank you, who says, I don't envy Jenna's position, and I'm kind of pissed that she folded when she didn't do anything wrong. But the more important thing here is the total violation of attorney-client privileges. This case will be used as precedent in ways nobody can predict. Oh, I think it's already been predicted. And we'll be told, we didn't expect that to happen, when lots of us have pointed out this is horrible. Attorneys aren't going to be able to advise their clients at all anymore without worry that, hey, I'm going to be charged with a crime here for doing my job.
Yeah, this is absolutely a violation of the attorney's ability to do their job.
Mm-hmm. But let's move on to something, I don't know if I want to say more fun, but more fun.
No, I'm not. I'm
our cat.
You understand?
Our cat.
I'm not even in my yard right now. What am I doing? The gate's open.
All right, the hippie in shorts here is very mad because his cat is in somebody else's yard. That sounds like you did something wrong rather than the person whose yard your cat is probably shitting in right now.
Yeah, why is your property in my yard?
Thank you, Kevisar, who says, I want the sun to hug my balls. Monk 2023. True story.
Yeah, technically, if your pet is in somebody else's yard, you're the one doing something wrong because you're supposed to control your property. Animals are considered property.
Yep.
And if your dog goes into someone else's yard and bites them, or your cat for that matter, you're liable.
Mm-hmm.
That's your whoopsie because you weren't controlling your pets. They're animals. They don't know any better, in theory.
You're unreasonable people. You're holding our cat.
How? I'm not even in there. I want you to explain how.
If you
Pay attention. The cat is in the yard. The gate is open. This guy's not even there. And this guy's like, you're holding my cat. Maybe he speaks that new English, and that's something we haven't learned yet, Jack, is that holding means not holding.
Yeah, it's
you know how, like,
literally, it also means like figuratively.
Yeah.
you would go in your yard, Mercury, go home. Don't come in our yard anymore.
She
They
will not
want you
listen.
to.
She's a cat. She doesn't speak English.
No, apparently Mercury speaks perfect English. Mercury, go home. Don't come back here anymore. That's my favorite part of it, because you could shoo a cat like, go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but most of the time the cat's just gonna like give you a little kitty middle finger and be like, "I'll do whatever the fuck I want. Screw you."
But even if you can get it to go away that way, there's no way saying, hey, don't you come back here anymore is going to work.
Yeah, it'll be back in 5 minutes just to piss you off, and it'll wait till you're looking and then flop down on your lawn chair. Be like, "What? You don't like it? Too bad."
Oh, really? This doesn't mean go home?
No.
Huh?
I mean, it can mean go home. It just doesn't necessarily mean that the cat understands that means go home.
Oh, let's be honest. If you do that to a cat, it's gonna be like, "Yes, fan me, human. I am your master."
Even if it worked, again, it's not going to be like, oh, I need to go home. It's going to be, this scary dude is waving his hands at me. I need to go somewhere else.
Yeah, he's gonna whip out his murder mittens and try and kill me, because I'm a cat and that's how I think.
Hand signals don't mean anything. It's a cat, dude.
Really? Okay. All right. Well, we'll have the police department figure it out.
Absolutely.
I really do wish we had follow-up video to see the police come and be like, what?
Oh my god,
What?
I would love to see the body cam footage of the cat be like, the cops be like, "You called us out here for a fucking cat that's
Your
just
cat
wandering into their yard?"
Yeah.
We have real crime to fight, sir. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go shoot some Negroes. Jesus Christ, what a waste of police time. This type of shit is why the cops are taking 35 minutes to get response time to your emergency shooting call.
Yeah, because they're dealing with, well, my favorite part of the video is coming up right now, Jack.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay?
Great idea.
All right. No, so the cat doesn't eat and drink anything over there, right?
No.
Oh, no, never. Right? No, never.
No.
No, never.
Never. Yeah, never.
Yeah, you cat pervert.
Two of the greatest.
Giving him a handy right there.
It really does. Two of the greatest words ever put together that I didn't realize needed put together.
I know, right? What a great name for a punk band, too.
Cat perverts.
You cat pervert. He's never over there eating or anything. There's a cat in my garage right now that I do not feed. It just hangs out there. You know why? Because it can. It's a fucking cat.
We do not feed our neighbor's cat, and my neighbor lives a decent way away, Jack. He's probably, if you measured it, 300 yards from my house.
Yeah.
It's a good distance, and his cat comes over and walks around our house all the time, and he walks around the neighborhood, and then he goes home.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a prowling radius of like 3 to 4 miles, I think.
Yeah. Nobody feeds him. He eats at home. He just likes to wander. Oh, you're over there feeding him. And if you can hear, it's hard to hear, but the guy who's recording, his woman is involved here too. And she's like, the cat just wants our attention. Here's a really easy thing this guy could do. Keep his cat in the fucking house. Indoor cats are a thing.
What? What? You want to, like, pin him down, man? Like, restrain him? Oh, man, that's wrong, man.
I've done nothing to bring the cat. I've done nothing to bring the.
Okay, I do need this explained to me. How do we go from you're feeding and watering the cat to cat pervert, which makes it sound like he's how can I put this? Petting the kitty.
I
How do you-
don't know. These people are crazy.
How do you make that leap?
I don't know. But look at that dude. He looks like he's probably like gonna go put his Faraday helm on later so Major League Baseball doesn't read his thoughts and his lottery numbers.
He actually looks like my brother-in-law.
Oh dear God.
Yeah, if my brother-in-law had longer hair, he a striking resemblance to my brother-in-law.
Remind me never to meet your brother-in-law after what I just said. So
We'll talk later. All right, here we go.
This dude's lost. This dude, he's lost it. He's lost it.
Okay, there's really not much more to this to actually get. I just wanted the cat pervert part because that is wonderful. I will throw it into chat for people who want to watch it again. But cat pervert, what a wonderful thing. I didn't realize I needed in my life.
Spittle Boogie said my friend's cat is leash trained, and that's not typical of cats. I knew a really pretty girl who would take her cat for a walk at the park. And by taking it for a walk, I mean, she had it on a little harness, like with a leash, and it would just sort of wander until it reached the extent of the line, and then just flop down and be like, I hate this.
We can't put a collar on Phoebe because Phoebe has this weird neck where if you put anything around it, she just pulls her head back and whatever's there will fly off.
Oh no, you could get a body harness, like
well,
what they make
yeah,
for dogs.
I know. So because of that, and we wanted to take her outside, we're like, we got to get something, so we got a harness. Phoebe does not like the cat harness.
Oh yeah, imagine most
Phoebe's
cats
like,
don't.
No, fuck you, man. That's why when we do let her out, somebody just stays right with her the whole time she's outside.
Yeah. Yeah, we played this a while back, Faithless. It just came up again today. That's all.
Where's the cat? You promised us a cat. I don't remember. I didn't promise you a rose garden. But if you want to see the cat that started all of this today, this is not the cat that was involved. I can bring him up on the screen. He's adorable.
Yeah, he's a pretty cat.
Except for his nut sack hanging there.
Well, he's an outdoor cat.
He does not give a shit. This is what a cat should be like. Whoops. I don't want to play the audio because it really doesn't go with it. Look at how pretty he is. I love his eyes, man. I just want to pet him, not on the ball sack.
No, he is on top of a vehicle though. That seems a bit dangerous if you're not paying attention.
But this right here is how I knew. It was like, wait, this video doesn't go with this because they keep mentioning her, and I'm like, that is balls, man.
Well, it
kitty
wouldn't pass
balls.
me that guy doesn't know the difference between a boy cat and a girl cat. So
that's fair too. But yeah, so there's your kitty cat. Even though I didn't promise it. I don't even really want to give this attention, but it kind of needs to. Shia, whatever the hell her name is, the chick who lives at TikTok. One, she threatened the Anti-Defamation League today with vague legal threats. And frankly, don't threaten them, just sue them.
Yeah.
They've been defaming her. Not to get into it too deeply, but yeah, just defamation. And yeah, she could sue them, win pretty easily, and make them once again back down from some of their bullshit. But she's like, hey, I give you until October 31st to take this shit down or else. Don't do that with them. Just fucking sue them. The ADL are a bunch of douchebags.
Yeah.
Their original mission is long gone. Defamed by the Anti-Defamation League. True story.
They've been sued a couple times now for that, so
They
it's not like they
accused
don't have a track record.
they accused a Muslim of being Islamophobic.
Yep.
Thank you, Sin Nikki. My 80-year-old mom had to rescue her outside cat off the roof. I was a bit pissed. Kitty cats go where they want. You can't be mad about that. You leave that kitty cat alone. But anyway, this is, I think, is this Instagram? Is that what I'm looking at here?
That does look like the gram. Yes.
Yeah. And it says there's a way to solve the libs of TikTok problem, but liberals won't like it. And that is over Shia's face. And the same person with a picture of a terrorist says, "Where is Shia Rychek? I just want to talk."
These are obviously threats. I mean, what are you
Clearly
supposed to take
threats.
from that? That's obviously a threat.
But more important to me than the fact that she's being threatened, because I don't think this person is probably even capable of such a thing. I think it's a big talker on the internet.
Yeah, but still, you got to take it kind of seriously.
Yeah, you still take it seriously, but I just, it strikes me that the reason these people are pissed off at her, the reason the left hates her, is for her amplifying their voice. All she ever did was show TikToks that they posted publicly. They're not deep fakes, Jack. They're not satire. She took pictures of these, or the videos of these teachers and activists and these fucking retards who are out there like, we're going to fuck your children and there's nothing you can do about it, and just showed the world. And they're mad that she amplified their voice.
Usually is what they want, but apparently she sends the message to the wrong people.
It's amazing how often, you know what? It struck me that that's the exact same thing that happened to Andy No. Andy No's crime is that he showed what these idiots were doing in public. He would take videos, put it on the internet, and go, "This is what these fuckers are doing." It's not like he broke into their secret enclave and was hanging from the ceiling Spider-Man style and filming them. They were doing it in the fucking streets. Like, we got to get that little Asian bastard because he showed everybody what we're doing.
Monster.
Liberals really hate it when you tell the world what they're doing.
Yeah. They hate getting laughed at, which is mainly what was happening. People were making fun of them.
Well, especially in the libs of TikTok case, because that's what it was for the most part, was people laughing at them. And with Andy, I mean, it was a little bit different because, we were talking about people actually being very, very violent. If you're that worried about everybody seeing what you're doing publicly, maybe you shouldn't be doing it. Just a thought. Jack, if I'm doing something publicly and somebody goes, "Look what you did publicly," I'm going, "Yeah, hey, look at me. Yeah, that's what I did."
Yeah, because you were doing it in public where other people were seeing it.
These people want to spread their bullshit, and then when it gets spread like they wanted it spread, they get mad because you're making me look bad. No, you did that.
No, they're mad because people are laughing at them. Instead of like, "Oh my God, you're so stunning and brave." They think that she is somehow changing the message and intention of their videos because somebody else didn't like what they were doing. They're like, "Well, obviously she's doing something because they're not flattering me and giving me adulation. Ergo, she is evil."
Faithless says they usually get the mainstream media to cover for them and slant the story their way. And that is literally what's happened with libs of TikTok.
Yep.
Because instead of it being her exposing these people for some outlandish shit, it's like, she's out there drumming up anti-LGBTQ, IA two-spirit, donkey fuckers. She's inspiring hate.
By just showing people what you're saying? They
Literally
pointing and laughing at you?
Literally just showing people what you said.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's weird how that Just because you don't like the reaction doesn't mean the person that posted it is doing something wrong.
Keldrick, thank you. You don't understand, Monk. It's stochastic terrorism. By displaying the leftist own content, libs of TikTok is a terrorist. Well, that is their argument. I know you're being facetious there, but that is literally their argument. You're going to make people be mean to the gays. Who?
Oh man, this is gonna be a bloodbath when China and Russia invade us.
It really is. Actually, I don't think it is because most of these pussies will just roll over.
Oh, they'll all sign up to. The first half will get executed right out the gate, and then they'll get misgendered. The rest of them will get misgendered and browbeaten into joining up by just being like, "You should join us, or we'll call you the wrong gender." And they'll be like, "Okay," and then they'll spy on regular Americans because that's really what they want to do is turn on people they hate. They'll be like, "I know some Trump supporters you can execute."
Did you see that post floating around today? I think it's from Reddit, where this guy's maybe it was an Instagram one. I don't remember. Anyway, this guy he's like, I went out with this girl, and she left as soon as I told her that I'm a liberal man, and she said that we need strong conservative men. And this is even after I told her that I had like special forces training and was in the military.
I don't think supply jockey is special forces.
You're still a pussy, dude. You're a liberal dude.
Yeah, he probably washed out. I'd really want to see some evidence of his special forces training before I bought that shit.
Yeah, I want to see evidence he ever dated a girl.
Did this girl go to another school in Canada?
She's my girlfriend in Canada. We met on the internet. All right, what else do we have going on here? This one I'm confused by it, Jack.
Oh yeah.
Ilhan Omar tweeted out, to eradicate polio, we need to vaccinate every child in every home. By the way, polio is not really an issue in the U.S. It needs there is still some, but it's not like a pressing issue.
Yeah, we've had a vaccine for that for what, 40 years, 50 years?
Yeah, for quite a long time. But anyway, to ensure inclusivity, yep, she wrote that. Our approach should include identifying and vaccinating zero-dose children who haven't received any immunizations, strengthening health systems to be more robust and accessible, overcoming gender-related obstacles. And that's where I went, are there people out there going, no, bitches deserve polio?
Oh, maybe in her homeland or something.
I need her legs not to work, so she can't say no.
Iron lungs are hot.
That's fucked up. And there's this story here. More current polio cases have been caused by vaccines than the wild virus, according to a WHO report. And what that comes from is it's actually, we have two different kinds of vaccines. You have the one that has a barely alive virus, and then you have the one that has a dead virus in it. Mm-hmm. One's oral, one's, I think the oral one's the one still got the virus in it. And that can actually cause polio outbreaks.
Whoopsie.
And I might have those backwards. So don't quote me on that. You just go look it up yourselves, guys. But they're getting rid of one of them. And I think it's the oral one because they have had cases where it accidentally transmits, which sucks. But the other one's working just fine. I just don't understand where gender-related obstacles became an issue.
I know. When they go to give you a shot, your boner gets in the way, and they bounce off of it like a kickstand in a cartoon.
Yeah, I just don't understand. I really don't. And again, that's not to say polio is not an issue at all, especially when we got unvaccinated people coming across the southern border.
A lot of them with TB and Zika virus.
But we have mostly eradicated polio in most of the world. There's very little of it left, but the places where it is kind of running rampant. Which is, I mean, maybe we'll get a new FDR out of it, so maybe we shouldn't stop it. Liberals should be on board with that, right?
Yeah, they would be.
Cripple, never mind. That's fucked up. The gender, we got to remove gender obstacles. If anybody has any kind of genuine explanation for that, I am willing to hear it. What about all the polio Bill Gates accidentally spread? Did he spread polio? What's Bill Gates doing out there?
You never know with him.
Yeah, this has been a problem for a while with the polio vaccinations. It's why they're getting rid of the one kind, is because they keep having clusters where it accidentally spreads the disease instead of stopping it. Sorry, I'm drinking out of a cup with a straw there. What else do we have here? Oh, this is probably my favorite story of the day, Jack.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's an NBC News story. And NBC News is mad. They're mad.
Oh, no.
Because people on Twitter are more influential than the mainstream media.
Oh, get right on caring.
7 influential accounts are warping Israel-Hamas news on X, Twitter. Researchers find. Now, one of my favorite parts of this article is that some of the research is anecdotal.
No, what?
It's not even actually research. It's anecdotes. That's not research. But, and for the record, one of the influential people is Mario Nufal, however you say that fucking retard's name. He is a douchebag. You shouldn't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about, and he'd probably steal your money. Just throwing that out there. So I'm not saying there's not bad actors, Jack. I'm just saying it's funny as fuck that the media is so pissed off that they're losing influence, because they need to lose influence.
Oh, absolutely.
A handful of influential but unreliable accounts, some of which have been promoted by Elon Musk, talking about Mario right there, are dominating the flow of news on X around the Israel-Hamas war and easily outpacing established media news outlets, according to research published Friday by the University of Washington Center for an Informed Public. I just want to warn you guys, if you see a kind of name like Center for Informed Public, they're going to lie to you.
Yeah.
That's like the sun rising in the east. It happens every time. This is the part that I love. The new work adds data to a swell of recent anecdotal accounts from researchers, academics, and journalists. That don't mean shit. You have a couple of journalists out there running around whining that nobody's listening to them. And you know what, Jack? Nobody should be listening to them. This is my favorite part of the article. I actually cut it out. It says, tweets about the Israeli-Hamas war from these accounts outperformed popular news accounts belonging to CNN, the New York Times, the BBC, and Reuters, despite having far fewer followers. The next line of this says NBC wasn't included in the research. That's how low NBC rated. They didn't even check against it. They're just like, fuck those guys. But you know what I'm reading right here, Jack? What I'm reading right here is CNN, the New York Times, the BBC, and Reuters have a bunch of bot followers.
Oh, quite likely.
That's what that says to me. If you're being outpaced by just some rando douchebag on Twitter, sounds like your followers aren't real.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Maybe your social media manager blows.
Cigar Chomping Penguin, thank you. I wish I could make this shit up. My Echo heard the conversation about polio and took it upon itself to give me info about infectious disease. Sorry about that. Echo, shut up. That's what Google, right? Shut up, Google.
Yeah. Thank you, Wiretap.
Yeah. Cigar chomping penguin. Don't join any closed Facebook groups in the next week. Somebody's going to try to get you to, kill the governor, and they'll glow.
Oh, they'll glow so hard.
I really loved this article because they are so pissy about losing their influence.
A bunch of babies.
We're not where we need to be. We're really not. Our media is garbage. It has been for a long time. Some people are starting to wake up. It's awesome. That doesn't mean everybody that you read on Twitter or on a blog or even watch on a stream is worth your time. A lot of them are just as bad as the mainstream media. But the acknowledgement that the mainstream media sucks, it's one of my favorite things that Donald Trump did. Because if the press just hadn't been cocksuckers to him, they probably would have went through that 4 years the same way they do with any Republican president. Some people calling it out like, hey, you guys are being unfair. But for the most part, maintaining their aura of honesty, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Impartiality.
Thank you. That's a much better word there. So Trump, you guys are fake news, and them getting so pissed off about that and being so angry, it really has helped expose who these shitbags are.
Well, the mask dropped because their egos were bruised.
Yeah.
They took it as a personal affront that he would dare call out the media and say that they're fake. And then they proved it by constantly lying about him.
And they got away with it pretty much throughout the Trump years. And there's a bit of irony to the fact that it's the Biden years that are bringing people around to realize how fucked up our press is.
Well, when grandpa's in decline, the whole family kind of comes around and rallies together.
Faithless said they were only so angry because it's so true. I mean, there's probably some honesty to that too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd agree. It hurt their egos because it's like the emperor has no clothes, Nobody wanted to say anything, and the few people that were chattering were dismissed as lunatics. Yeah. But then everybody kind of came out and said, hey, you guys are naked. And they were like, how dare you? Just because I am doesn't mean I want you to acknowledge it.
Right. Hang on, I'm putting my glasses on. This is really hard to read.
Thank you, Keldrick. Get wrecked, media bitches. Thank you. That's spot on.
They have nobody but themselves to blame. They could even still be as biased. Look, go back. Watch what happened during the Reagan years. Watch what happened during both Bush terms. Look at what happened during the Clinton years and the Obama years. And just see the difference in how these men were treated. It's based solely on their ideology. Even when the Republicans would take just a normal Democratic point, when the press should be like, yay, he's on our side on this one, suddenly that point would become, a horrible thing. It means they want to kill Jews or some stupid shit like that. The bias has been there my entire life.
Oh, yeah. That's why Rush Limbaugh was so popular.
Yeah. But they went mask off. They were just like, fuck it. We're just going to be. I mean, in fairness, it's the most honest they've ever been as they're lying. Because they're not making any excuses for being the liberal shittards they are.
Yeah.
So, I think this is funny. I encourage it. I encourage you guys to, within the rules, make fun of these media folks as much as you can on social media. Tag them in it. It's funny. They get very upset. But again, remember, stay within the rules. Don't target anybody. If you see a stupid article from them come up, be like, hey, you're retarded. This is dumb, what you said right here. Just remind them that they're not gods. They're Icarus, and they've been a little too close to the sun lately. So anyway, Jack, you know how much I hate the press, so I really, really enjoyed that article.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
I need to be careful. I'm gonna end up on another watch list. FBI, I know you're out there listening. I don't
Hi.
hate them hi. I don't want anything bad to happen to these people, except maybe losing their jobs. But they are shit, and I do hope they're exposed for it and that people learn not to listen to these idiots anymore. Okay, I want the Clifford Duncan one. Where is that at? This one. Here we go. Jack, we're going to start back in time. We're going to go back. We're going to go back about a year and 8 months ago. So February of 2021.
Long ago. Do I need a mask for this?
No, because we're social distance, so we're okay.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. Kevsar, thank you. Rules to live by. Everyone has an agenda. Your job is to figure out what it is. Cronkite was biased and had an agenda. Oh, and Echo is Amazon. Well, thank you so much for the donation. I've even thought about getting an Echo, but then I'm like, what would I use it for? I just use my phone anyway. But anyway, so back in the long ago, February of 2021, this is right around the time Gina Carano gets fired from the Star Wars thingy. Or it's after it, and it popped up again for some reason. I'll put it that way. And this chick had something to say about it, Jack. She had some words.
What?
Here's to stop sharing conspiracy.
Oh, start over.
Oh, why did I drop? Oh, wow.
Yeah, ducked out.
No, I completely disconnected. Holy shit. In the chat, I can see it disconnected me from chat and brought me back. So sorry about that, guys. It doesn't usually drop fully like that. Not on the AT&T. Anyway,
I blame chipmunks.
So this is Hannah Ines Flint, and she says, I'd be surprised if Gina Carano hadn't been given several warnings by her agents and employers to stop sharing conspiracy theories and harmful content well before getting fired. There were plenty of opportunities to fire her, but both stood firm until she proved she couldn't be trusted to follow guidelines set out by the company. You can try and compare this to James Gunn's decade-old tweets, but he wasn't supporting insurrectionists either. Dun, dun, dun.
They're supporting pedophiles.
And white people really need to stop using genocides against ethnic minorities to make their point about their rights. Gina, you made your bed.
That was a bunch of hypotheticals.
I'm not sure where the genocide part came from.
Forgot me. They like to throw that word around like they know what it means. But she just set up a straw man. Like, she doesn't know what happened at Disney with Gina.
Thank you, James Kyle, who says, hi, I'm Ranting Monkey, and I really, really want Daddy Joe Biden to sniff me. Sniff me hard, Daddy. There you go. Make that your ringtone. All right, Jack. So this is she's like, hey, the bitch brought it on herself. She should have just shut the fuck up. She knew better. They probably told her about it. All right, Jack. Let's come back to the future, shall we?
Okay.
This is a post from I think today from Hannah. It says, waking up to friends in the film industry telling me they are deleting their pro-Palestinian post because of a new blacklist going around here and across the pond. McCarthyism is back.
Okay.
Hey, Hannah, you made your bed, bitch. How about that?
Yeah. Maybe don't support terrorists.
What happened to you made your bed? And let's be clear, the pro-Palestinian thing, it's not just being like, hey, the Israelis should take it easy. We're talking about people who are coming out and being like, it's the Jews' fault that they all got killed. Let's just be careful of what we're talking about here. McCarthy did nothing wrong. Yeah, he did. He stopped. Well, it's probably his liver more than him. That's a horrible joke. Didn't he die of cirrhosis or something like that?
I think so.
That's fucked up, Frank. Stop it.
You're a monster.
I just love this. This is what I was talking about, when we heard about, what was that guy's name? The one who's mad because he's Asian and now he can only get Asian jobs because he said you can only do your own color. These people never think it's going to bite them in the ass.
No, because they're special. They're the special ones. They're the elites. They're going to come out on top.
And for the record, I can think Disney had the right to fire Gina and that it was retarded to do so for those reasons. I keep running into a lot of people, Jack, like, oh, so you support censorship. No, I do support a company's right not to work with people they don't want to work with. Doesn't mean I think that their reasoning is good. If you have people out there who are like, the Jews deserve to die, and you have people who don't want to hire those folks, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a liability.
I think it's 100% okay for them to have that opinion. I don't think they should be jailed for it, Jack. I do like DeSantis. Did you see DeSantis when he came out? He's like, if we have these pro-Palestinian people here and they're not citizens, we're going to kick them the fuck out.
I'm actually on board with that.
Me too.
If they're advocating for terrorism, yeah, fuck you, get out. We don't need that.
I saw some people like, that's unconstitutional, free speech. Sorry, that's not how it works. They are not citizens of this country. Citizens of this country can say that, but if you're here on a visa and you are out there acting an ass, we can absolutely pull it.
Oh yeah, you're just visiting.
Get the fuck out.
There are standards that you have to adhere to.
Yeah, so I'm absolutely okay with that woman's friends being on a blacklist. That's what you get. You asked for this shit. Fuck you. I am not going to take free speech preaching from people who don't give a fuck about free speech.
Yeah.
Don't you come with your sermon to me. You don't mean it, bitch. I've had a lot of people come at me about free speech in the last couple of days, Jack.
Yeah, well, their positions are usually indefensible, so
you can go back to any of these times where we've talked about this stuff, and I've always said I support these companies' rights not to hire these people or to fire them over this stuff. As long as it's not something like I support Donald Trump, because that's
different.
Even then, I mean, if you don't want to hire somebody who supports Donald Trump, I don't think you should be forced to hire somebody who supports Donald Trump.
Yeah, but at least that's usually an American voter saying that they're citizens. They're not here visiting. They're not guests in your house advocating that your house gets burned down.
People have a real hard time with understanding nuance.
Yeah, they do these days. Absolutely.
I can support your right to say something and still think you're a retard. And I do it with a lot of people, Jack. If retards shut up, I would be so bored on Twitter.
That's true.
I mean, they fill a good part of my day. But I can also think that a company is doing something wrong and support their right to do it. Making a bad decision, it shouldn't be illegal. I mean, unless it's like heroin or, being a whore who's spreading HIV.
Look, nobody wants a strung out whore spreading the HIV.
Yeah. And especially in these cases, because they're comparing it to, like people who got fired for supporting Trump. Like, you do realize that some of these people are literally supporting terrorists. There was a, where is that? Hang on. I wasn't going to talk about this, but since we're on the subject, there's a school who, I think it was one of their student groups down in Florida. DeSantis has ordered them to be disbanded. He ordered the student disbanded because of them breaking Florida law.
Yeah, I saw that.
Not that one. Give me a second because I do want to find this. Here it is, right? Nope, that's another stupid shit. We talk for just a second, Jack, so I can find this.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Staying sexy out there. Yeah, there was a group called Students for Justice in Palestine that sent out a toolkit inviting their members to aid Hamas in their operations I have a problem with stuff like that. And Candace Owens, of course, chimed in on that.
Did she? I didn't see that because she blocked me so long ago.
Yeah, it's related to what you're talking about. Hold on, I got the link
No,
here.
it's that's the actual story I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Why can't I must have just responded to it. I hate when I do that shit. That's why I typically retweet stuff that I reply to.
Last link.
Thank you.
Chat.
Because there's a very specific part of this I want you guys to see. Because I saw some people, one guy who responded to this, and that was the tweet I really wanted. He's like, DeSantis is out there showing he's not for free speech. Keep that in mind. Keep that shit in mind. Because this isn't just a matter of free speech. Governor DeSantis just ordered the University of Florida and the University of South Florida to deactivate their Students for Justice in Palestine group for violating Florida's law against anti-Semitism. That's not true. Anyway, so here's the letter, and I know it's kind of hard to read because, it's hard to read on the screen itself. During a holy Jewish holiday, the recognized terrorist organization Hamas launched an unprovoked attack on Israel. Among those killed were babies, women, elderly. To date, approximately 1,400 Israelis have been killed, including 31 American citizens. The way they wrote that is wrong. 1,400 have been killed, including 31 Americans, because that makes it sound like the Israelis are American citizens.
Yeah.
Which some of them were, and dual citizenship kind of thing. But anyway, Governor DeSantis, our state university system, and the Florida college system have condemned these attacks. Hamas is responsible for the attack and claims it as part of Operation Al-Aqsa Flood. I think I'm pronouncing that right.
It's close.
In the wake of the terror, military leaders of Hamas have called for mobilization of Palestinian support in the operation. In response, this is the important part, and leading up to the Day of Resistance, the National Students for Justice in Palestine, National SJP, released a toolkit which refers to Operation Al-Aqsa Flood as the resistance and unequivocally states, this is quotes now, guys, Palestinian students in exile are part of this movement, not in solidarity with this movement. This is them claiming to be terrorists. This isn't saying we're in solidarity. We are part of them. This is stating your allegiance to a terrorist organization.
Yep.
That's not a free speech issue. That's a criminal matter.
That's a national security matter.
It's a felony under Florida law to knowingly provide material support to a designated foreign terrorist organization. The State University System of Florida has at least 2 institutions with active national SJP chapters. These chapters exist under the headship of... Anyway, as you can see, they point to the law. This isn't a, hey, you guys said bad things. You took ownership of being in a terrorist group. That's not free speech. That's treason.
Well, it would be treason if they're a citizen, but these are enemy combatants.
Mm-hmm.
I think they crossed the Rubicon pretty healthily. I've got their the actual Day of Resistance toolkit pulled up here. Leftism posted it. It's that last link. I'll drop the link into chat for people if they want to read, because we might get in trouble for actually reading parts of this out loud.
Sorry, my internet's doing it again. I just heard you click, so I'm assuming I'm back.
Yes. Woo.
Okay. So yeah, I saw this, and this is another one of those things where I'm being told, hey, it's a free speech. That's not a free speech issue at all. It's not even close. And for people to be putting that out that way, no. This is not like saying Donald Trump did nothing wrong on January 6th. This is saying I am a terrorist. You fucking shitbags. It's free speech. Shut up. See, this is why I'm not going to take any preaching from these fucking assholes. They don't even know what it is. And you have the balls to come at me and be like, you just don't like the free speech because you think these people's that it's okay to not hire them. Fuck you. You want to actually, get in there and learn something? I'm willing to teach, but you guys I'm not, nah, don't come at me with that shit.
It also does reflect the mentality that they think they're owed jobs.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
I'm going to throw this video into chat. It's a really cute puppy video where they microwave a dog.
I don't think that's a microwave. I think that's a drying machine of some kind.
It's a drying machine, but it looks like a microwave.
It does look like a microwave.
I'm just saying, if there were Koreans who watched that, they were probably licking their lips.
Yeah. Well, it is, I think, Japanese, the video. So it was bordering fairly closely. That one voice actor might get a little hungry watching it, though.
I'm going to put the video on the screen. We're not going to watch it because it's quite long. But just for those of you who want to see a cute puppy, he's adorable. I'll give him that. Yeah. But I just wanted to show it because we just talked last night about how much people spend on their pets. They basically give this dog a spa day.
Yeah. Well, he's a little Shiba Inu. He deserves it.
No, he doesn't. He's a dog.
No, he deserved it.
If I can look at you and say you're spoiling your animal more than you should, given how I treat Phoebe, you have a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but those lonely people out there, they need to do something to feel loved.
There are
the
people
dogs seem to have fun.
There are people who don't give that much attention to their cats or their to their kids. Cats, whoops.
Oh, kids are savages.
So are puppies. They will
puppy
tear up your
dogs can be
couch.
Really fun. That seemed like a very well-behaved dog. Obviously, if he got a spa day, he was a good boy.
He is adorable, and I'm glad he got a spa day. But people, man, it just always reminds me of that saying, it's amazing what people would rather have than money.
Yeah.
She has a whole ass dryer that she sticks that dog in. Monk's only saying that because it's a dog. No. If I saw somebody treating a cat like that, I'd be like, leave that fucking thing alone. Anyhow, yeah. Going back to the bug thing, that's why I said last night, maybe with the pet food thing, they're making a mistake because people are fucking fanatical about their pets. All right. My internet has started to be a real dick here. So I don't know if I'll be pulling these ones on the screen.
Oh, that's fine. Would you like me to read them?
Sure, if you'd like to. That way I don't have to open them, and it's even a little bit better for me. This first story, because I did open it, but somebody sent that to me. I had seen that. I think we even talked slightly about it. Go ahead and do the story, and we'll talk more.
Oh, is this the Texas one?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Kevsar of old, thank you. My cat eats ribeye. I would feed my cat very well, but she doesn't like any human food except she likes sliced turkey, she likes lettuce, and Doritos.
That's weird.
And ranch dressing. But anyway, go ahead.
So, yeah, Dixie Rose sent me this one. Texas sues to stop Border Patrol agents from cutting state's razor wire at the border.
Yeah, we talked about this just very briefly that they were doing this. Texas put up razor wire all across there. Remember we had that video or the pictures of them shoving that little kid through the razor wire.
Yeah, there's been several videos come out of Border Patrol and the various other agencies cutting the razor wire and letting people in.
Yep.
So on Tuesday, Ken Paxton, the Attorney General for Texas, sued the Biden administration, claiming the Border Patrol illegally destroyed state property when its agents cut through the concertina wire on the banks of the Rio Grande to assist migrants to illegally cross the border.
Good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're right to do it because they are destroying state property, first of all, and they're also aiding and abetting a criminal activity. Within the past 3 years, the Texas Military Department has spent $11 million to place 70,000 rolls of razor wire in different parts of the Texas-Mexico border, most notably in Eagle Pass, where migrants have been seriously injured trying to get through the wire. That's on them. Fuck them for trying to break into our country.
Yep. Cryptic, real quick. Cryptic, thank you, says, holy shit. Thank you so much.
The wire is part of Greg Abbott's efforts to stem illegal immigration at the 1,200-mile border. According to the lawsuit filed in the Western District of Texas, Border Patrol agents not only cut Texas's concertina wire, but also attach ropes or cables to the back of pickup trucks to ease migrants' ability to get onto the U.S. side of the river.
Yep.
Those guys should be arrested. Have the National Guard arrest them. They are aiding and abetting criminal activity. Since September 20th, immigration agents have seized and damaged the state-deployed wire more than 20 times, the lawsuit says. None of the wire was located on federal land and was instead on land owned by border cities or private landowners, the lawsuit claims. Whoopsie!
Yep.
By cutting Texas's wire, the federal government not only illegally destroyed property owned by the state of Texas, it has also disrupted the state's border deterrence efforts, leaving gaps in Texas's border barriers and damaging the state's ability to effectively deter illegal entry into Texas. The lawsuit
real quick, that part is irrelevant. The feds have no business on state land doing that shit.
Yeah, or private property for that matter.
Or private property. Absolutely not private property.
So if they're smart, they'll get a bunch of these landowners together and sue the feds too, like a class action suit.
Well, it also makes the feds look very bad because one of their arguments about Wall is like, but the landowners won't let us do it. Bullshit. They would welcome it. They don't want all these fucking illegals. We've seen them talk about it, like all of these illegals coming across their property, destroying shit along the way like a group of fucking locusts.
Yeah, well, that's what they're going to do to our economy, too.
Yeah. So good for Texas for suing them on this one because fuck those guys. And they have a point about, them stopping Texas's ability to protect their own border. But again, that is the weak part of this lawsuit. The federal government can't just come destroy state and private property.
Yeah. Apparently they think they can, though. I really hope Texas wins this because this will set a precedent for other states to follow suit.
Yeah, and like you said, there's actual video of these guys doing this shit and pulling it back so that so that the illegals can walk through. It's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
That's what our border patrol is doing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cryptic. I blame Mickey. Her love for burritos is causing issues due to her snow Mexican heritage. That's probably true. I'm just saying. We got more on that one?
No, that's pretty much that article.
All right. Yeah, and I'm glad that they're doing it because it needs done. If the feds aren't going to protect our border, it's up to the states to do it. They can't do it on the federal land, but as soon as it's their land, they can put. See, that's why there's gaps in their own concertina wire. Is because that they have a skip where there's federal land. On their own land, they can do whatever the fuck they want, and the feds cannot stop them from that. It's called the 10th Amendment, fucker. Anyway, sorry, Jack.
No worries. Next up, we've got yellow fever's coming back. Woo!
Cool. One I haven't had.
Yellow fever, scourge of the 1800s, is coming back, and the U.S. is woefully unprepared. Yellow Jack is back. A mosquito-borne disease known as yellow fever is primed for resurgence, says medical experts, and the U.S. is woefully unprepared. Also coming back is malaria, dengue fever, and leishmaniasis. I don't know what that is, but I'm not going to look it up because it'll give me nightmares. They were once confined to the tropics, have now spread northwards into the U.S. due to a warming climate.
Oh, climate change.
Yeah. Climate change, also known as the invasion from the southern border. There is no cure for yellow fever, and up to 60% of the people who develop a severe form of the disease will die, according to the CDC.
So the other 40% of people who've had yellow fever never died?
Well, they didn't die from yellow fever. They died.
Well, then they wrote
immortal.
that sentence wrong.
People who develop a severe form of the disease will. Yeah, that's a poorly worded sentence.
That is a poorly worded sentence. It makes it sound like the other people never died.
They're all jaundiced and immortal.
Yeah.
If you see some jaundiced people, watch out. They might be vampires. And although an effective vaccine is available, the U.S. has a limited supply, and the vaccine can cause a reaction in some people. Currently, the U.S. This is actually how Walter Reed got famous. Walter Reed Hospital. He did the big study on yellow fever. That's what made him famous. Currently, the U.S.
I'd say I'm kind of with Faithless on this. That it sounds a little like fear mongering. It's not to say that we won't have some resurgence, but it's not going to be like it was. It'd be real nice if we brought DDT back, so we could kill all these fucking mosquitoes.
Yeah, because that's what spreads it.
Yeah, but it's mosquitoes biting Mexicans and Ecuadorians and Ecuadorians mostly, and then coming and biting us. That's causing it. Hey, keep them on their side of the border. They're not coming over here because the U.S. has warmed up that much. It hasn't. Texas has been hot for a long fucking time, Jack. These things live in the tropics. The deserts of Texas are not tropical.
You don't know that.
I do. I absolutely do. The desert and tropic are two different biomes.
What? Look, just because there might be some massive pandemics rolling up, thanks to untreatable tuberculosis and Zika virus and now yellow fever and dengue. It's obviously climate change. Got nothing to do with that wide open border at all.
Tropical desert, right? I have no doubt that we're going to have pockets of this stuff pop up. I mean, we saw it with malaria not long ago.
Yeah, unfortunately, because of the mosquitoes, which had spread through the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which is the most common one in the country, it will spread pretty quickly in the summer. So you got to be worried about that. But if they spray for mosquitoes, it's not that big of a deal. Unfortunately, we have a nation run by retards, so they're probably gonna be like, we gotta protect the mosquito, man.
Furry Kid says, never work in Central Africa. I ended up with a yellow Vax card that read like War and Peace.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that we don't have to worry about here, where if you go to other countries, they're like, oh, you're going to need like 18 vaccines to even look at that place.
Yeah.
It's why our military are so well vaccinated. Keldrick, thank you. I blame California. Every time we have a resurgence of virtually non-existent diseases, it's those West Coast motherfuckers. Well, in fairness to them, it's because they're right there on the Mexico border. I'm just saying.
So public health experts fear that the population growth in the South, including boom towns like Galveston, Corpus Christi, and Houston, Texas, Mobile, Alabama, New Orleans, Miami, and Tampa, Florida. I don't know why some of those have states listed. We all know where those places are. Could fuel an epidemic similar to those that terrorized the region in centuries past. During the 1800s, yellow fever caused highly lethal and economically devastating urban epidemics in the southern U.S. coastal cities and those on the Mississippi River. Memphis was nearly wiped out. That's why it's actually predominantly black, because all the white people packed up and left, and all the black people were too poor to leave, and they couldn't really go anywhere. So that's why Memphis became predominantly black.
If people get jaundice, do they turn orange?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I mean, they have to get jaundice, but how it's so easy to tell in white people because we're white.
Yeah.
Do black people turn orange?
I'll have to look into that and get back to you. Oh,
The eyes,
thank you.
real quick. Ramos says the eyes turn yellow. Yeah, I know the eyes turn yellow, but with their skin being darker, because your skin will take on a yellow hue if it's not treated. If you have jaundice. So do black people's do they turn actually yellow? I'd imagine yellow and brown makes orange.
Maybe they turn like a copper color.
Maybe. All right.
It could look really sexy. I don't know. Thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. They're already protecting the mosquitoes. The sudden death mosquito trials proved 99% reduction in mosquito populations. Government said no. Well, there you have it. The government doesn't give a fuck about your safety.
Yeah, every time we have a way of getting rid of mosquitoes, they're like, nah, we can't do that. Mosquitoes provide nothing but maybe a couple of other bugs might eat them. They are useless. Get rid of them. They're not even good for making dinosaurs because we saw what happened when they tried that.
Yeah, well, that's because they messed up with the frog DNA, and then they became hermaphroditic, and then Jeff Goldblum had to save the day.
Real quick, Merle says, mostly whites of the eyes. Well, you know how I know so much about jaundice, Jack? My oldest son had jaundice when he was born, and for about 2 weeks, we had a little yellow baby.
Oh, wow.
So it's not just the eyes. That's the tell right there is the eyes, but the skin changes too.
Yeah. I knew a guy that had jaundice, like really bright yellow skin. Nowadays, I'd think he was a Fed.
Oh, there you go.
In addition to climate change, economic factors can affect the spread of yellow fever and other mosquito-borne diseases.
What?
Yeah, quote, the reason why poverty is important is, for instance, here in Texas, in our low-income neighborhoods, we have a lot of tire dumping, and tires with a little bit of water are great for breeding mosquitoes, said Dr. Peter J. Hotz.
No, that is not a matter of poor. That's a matter of not taking care of shit.
Yeah, that's a matter of being like living in a shitty neighborhood. You just have lazy people dumping stuff.
And look, I get that happens more in shitty neighborhoods, but you can't blame that on poverty. That is people who are trashy. Yeah, if you want to say trashiness causes it, fine, but not poor.
It's not like that's just people that don't want to pay the $5 pickup fee for the tire.
Yeah, it's not like the mosquitoes are going, hey, don't bite that rich guy. That poor guy tastes better.
Yeah, that's dumb. Yeah, it's ridiculous. They don't even mention the migrants moving up.
Of course not.
So they do talk about the symptoms, includes fever, headache, body aches, nausea, vomiting. In some cases, organ failure, hemorrhaging, and jaundice. Yellowing of eyes and skin can precede death. No shit. First of all, you just described the flu and also the coof. So good luck with that, because by the time your skin turns yellow, you're pretty well fucked because your liver's failing.
Yeah, jaundice is caused by your liver not working properly.
Yeah. And by then you're seriously in trouble and probably not going to make it. Experts advise protection against mosquitoes, such as wearing insect repellent and protective clothing and getting the vaccine if traveling to an area where yellow fever is common, like apparently the South.
Well, it makes more sense in the South because it is warmer and you need mosquitoes. While we have mosquitoes up here, it's nothing like down south.
Yeah, so they're recommending national pandemic preparedness efforts,
of course,
that's nothing. They're not going to do anything until there's a crisis. Our government doesn't do shit, and they said it could take quite a while for them to get the vaccines up and running because we have so few of them.
In chat, Merle is educating me. Says, in blacks it's hard to tell, but fingernail death and gums is more where you see it in blacks. Really?
Oh, that actually makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not making jokes here. I'm genuinely curious. Because something like that, how would you know? And Kevin Starr, thank you. Majority of babies are little jaundice. As far as POCs, jaundice is mostly notable in eyes, palms, and soles of feet. Oh, that would, because they tend to have the lighter skin on the soles of their feet and their palms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me grab a couple here. Thank you, Cryptic. Yellow fever? Stop being afraid of me.
Jack has a different yellow fever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a fear, good sir. Do you have
It doesn't lead to jaundice, just babies named Matt Jabronsky.
And thank you, the Harry Channel. When everyone rents, there's usually no one in the neighborhood who takes care of the neighborhood. Yeah, exactly. True. Communal property is always trashed.
Yeah.
Always.
But I just don't like them blaming it on poverty, because poverty is not the issue. You can be poor and clean.
Yeah. Yeah, but they treat it like poverty is the same thing as being trash.
Yeah.
Filthy trash people. And that's just not the case. All right, next up, my favorite article of the day. And I know I sent this to you, Monkey, because I wanted to talk about it. This comes from the Daily Camera, which is the campus newspaper. Colorado University Boulder doctoral students allege racial discrimination.
Oh, God, this fucking article.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I lost my shit. It took me a while to find the original article.
I'm glad you did, and I'm glad you brought it up, because I'd forgotten all about it.
You say hi to Angela in chat. Hi, Angela. And hi, Evil One. I saw you pop in. This is just completely fucking ridiculous. Doctoral student Eddie Prakasha said the simple act of heating up his ethnic food in a shared microwave provoked racist comments from staff members and led to a series of discriminatory consequences for him and his partner.
No, it didn't. I've read the story. No, it didn't.
Yes, it did, Monkey.
No, it didn't.
Everything is racist. He's brown.
Wait, I just have to warn the audience. This is one of the dumbest discrimination things we've ever heard.
Yeah, this is right up there on par with the stupidity of the lady that owned Pebbles. Pebbles, rested power, Pebbles, at the right hand of Harambe. Prakash is pursuing a doctorate degree in anthropology at the University of Colorado Boulder. On September 5th, he microwaved his Indian food for lunch, like usual, in a shared kitchen space in the department. 2 staff members walked in as he waited for his Palak panner to heat up. Prakash, whatever his name is, said one of them made a face and said, "Oof, that's pungent," with the other echoing the same sentiment. They asked him to heat his food elsewhere. Not to eat his food, to heat his food, because it's stench. Prakash.
Before we move on, those were the racist statements, by the way. That's the racist statement about the food. Ooh, that's pungent.
Yeah.
That's not racist.
It is, because he's brown and super sensitive. Prakash took his food back to his desk but couldn't eat it because he was so upset by the comments, which have a history of being a top act of racism against South Asians.
Your food stinks. Sorry.
Yeah. You know what? A lot of the spices that are in Indian food was actually concocted by the British. They came up with a combination of a lot of the spices. So next time you eat tiki masala, that's actually the Brits.
That makes sense, because I've seen British food and it doesn't seem like they understand spices really.
Yes, that's true. But you have a certain selection of things to work with, and next thing you know, you got haggis. I don't know what to tell you.
Furry's correct. That actually could be a comment for some fragrant dishes. It's a compliment for some cheeses. I don't know why. I think it stinks, but yeah, they're like, that's pungent. Like that means stink, man.
Yeah, look, just because something stinks doesn't mean it has to do with your skin tone, douchebag. Lots of food is gross. You put like some like sauerkraut in front of me, and I might punch you.
The worst thing with our shared break room that ever had, the motherfuckers were constantly burning popcorn.
Oh yeah, that stench is nasty.
Like, I will punch you in the dick if you do that again. So, and I love popcorn, but burnt popcorn stinks. It's not racist. It just stinks. Oh, you just don't like it because it's black popcorn, monk. Sorry.
All right. Yeah, yes. I had some Crunch and Munch earlier, so I'm diverse because it was brown.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, thank you, Keldrick. I usually hear that sort of complaint about fish, and you
Yes.
know who eats a lot of fish? White people. It ain't race, bro. Yeah, microwave fish. Oh my god, that stench lingers.
Thank you, Kevin Starr of Old. Yes, it's racist because he's a sensitive brown Jack 2023.
Yeah, I'll stand by that. Quit being a hypersensitive bitch. Quote, there's a context for this kind of exclusion for South Asians because of the fact our food is known as curry. It's put in a certain box, Prakish said,
The
adding,
trash can. Said the trash can.
yeah, adding to have that understanding in an anthropology department, I thought was a given, but that wasn't the case. Look, curry can smell really good. Maybe your curry stinks, dude. Maybe you're just a bad cook. Did you think of that? Prakish said I can't pronounce his name, said he communicated with the staff members why the comments were not okay and expected a quick and easy resolution, but that's not what happened. He expected them to kiss his ass. The situation escalated within the department, Prakish said, to the point where he was banned from heating food in the microwave, stopped attending classes in person, and his partner lost her paid teaching assistant position. I don't think that. I think there's a lot more to this if all that happened.
Well, let's go with what he said. So he's not allowed to eat his nasty food in there anymore.
Yeah, well, not to use the microwave.
And then he stopped attending classes in person.
That's his choice.
That's his choice.
Yeah.
And then it says she lost her job. I don't remember. Does it actually say why she lost her job? Because with him just deciding not to go to class anymore, I'm guessing either she stopped going to work or, she actually quit.
I don't remember if it says. This is a fairly long article, and I read it several hours ago. But because I have the attention span of a gnat. But
I feel you.
I have a feeling that her losing her paid teaching position may be unrelated. Like maybe the classes just she wasn't needed, or her part in the thing ended. But I think there's a lot more going on than just him whining about his food.
He hasn't described any racism at all yet.
No, they made derogatory comments about his ethnic food, which, by the way, I eat curry. I love curry. Well, I am very white, I assure you.
This was on September 5th, so maybe this is the first days of class or something, but he's a doctoral student.
Yeah.
He's a doctoral candidate. So he's been there before. He's cooked food in microwaves before without a problem. Maybe it was just this particular dish you decided to bring in smelled like shit.
I'm telling you, I think the guy's probably just a bad cook. He's like, I smell curry, I'll get hungry because I like curry. But maybe he's just a shitty cook and overspiced it, and the microwave made it smell funky.
You know what? Sometimes even good tasting food smells like ass.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's just the way of the world, and if it does. It's like people who cook fish in a microwave. We only had that happen one time at Walmart, and it never happened again because everybody's like, "What the fuck did you do?"
I'm telling you, that smell hangs around in that microwave too.
Days.
Yeah.
Evolved Potato, thank you. What most people call Indian food is British invention. That's the good curry. Real traditional Indian food is overspiced to cover up the low quality food that was sometimes rotten, which is the bad curry.
Yep.
Well, what they should have done is talk to poor black people in the South back in the day, because they had shitty food and they made it taste good and smell good.
Yeah, I saw John mentioned kimchi. Kimchi is rotting cabbage.
So sauerkraut?
It's actually slightly better than sauerkraut, but sauerkraut's fucking gross.
Dude, my wife, she didn't eat hot dogs at all growing up, and because of me, and I love hot dogs, so she slowly started eating them and has become much more of a connoisseur than I am, because I'm trailer park hot dog guy, right?
Yeah.
My wife is like, no, she makes it look all fancy and shit, and it's all dressed up, and I'd never had sauerkraut before. Just the name of it makes me want to vomit.
Yeah, it's fucking
And
gross.
she's like, no, you don't understand. You got to try it. It is so good.
Ooh.
That's what I get for trusting a woman.
Yeah, they're tricksters.
That shit was fucking gross. I don't know
Yeah.
how people eat that shit.
I don't either. There are 3 things that are on my or 4 things on my never eat list: Brussels sprouts, sauerkraut,
Amen.
coleslaw.
Ooh, I like
and,
coleslaw.
No, and relish.
Depends on the relish for me, but for the most part, yeah, I agree. Most relish is trash.
It's a texture thing for me. I don't like the taste to begin with, but the texture is just. I think I'm eating vomit. So, a request was made for an interview with someone at CU Boulder within the anthropology department. The request was answered with a statement from an anonymous CU Boulder spokesperson on behalf of the department. The spokesperson said the department is aware of the incident and takes the allegations of discrimination and harassment seriously. The Department of Anthropology is working.
How could you take this seriously? And I mean that sincerely. Somebody comes to you and like, they're being racist because they said my food stinks, and you took it seriously?
No, I think you're misunderstanding. These are 2 separate thoughts. The department's aware of the incident, and they take the allegations of discrimination and harassment seriously. They're not taking this incident seriously. They just, as a nebulous concept, take allegations seriously.
I hear you, but I would have phrased it. We're aware of the accusations, and it's patently absurd, so we're not doing anything about it.
Yeah, this is a complete fucking waste of our time. Go away.
Corey, thank you, says, I will never eat escargot. I won't eat escargot. I won't eat caviar. All of this rich food that's actually trash that they're like, hey, rich people, pay a bunch of money for garbage. They can keep it.
Yeah, I've had escargot. It's gross.
It's snails.
Yeah, I don't like that. I'm not going to eat it. And I can't eat seafood. I don't like seafood anyway, especially shellfish. Gross. That's how you get E. coli and salmonella. Fuck that.
Stop eating sea bugs, people.
Yeah, it's what they are. They're giant bugs that live in the ocean.
Caviar is like salt pellets. I don't eat fish ovum. That's fucking nasty. I don't eat fish.
Caviar is one of the most overrated foods on the planet.
I live in America where we have cows. That's what I eat.
Right? I don't need to eat your weird, gross shit and your bugs. Nasty.
We got cows and chickens and pigs. I'm okay with my food choices.
Yeah, that's fair. The Department of Anthropology is working to rebuild trust among its students, staff, and faculty by addressing the concerns raised by the individuals directly affected. Spokesperson said in a statement.
Wait, the people directly affected were the ones whose noses were assaulted by that dude's food.
Right? I hope they filed a counter complaint saying that he smells. Can you imagine that dude's farts if his food smells this bad? Because, I'm sorry, curry farts are really rank. But the worst farts on earth are those Boca burgers. Yeah, the veggie,
the fake hamburger. Yeah,
they're like the discount ones. That is like a compost he's erupted out of someone's ass.
Merle says, "Yes, Monk, don't eat your food's food." 100%.
Exactly. Department leaders have met with a coalition of graduate students, staff, and faculty to listen and discuss changes that best support its goals of fostering an inclusive environment. Translation, we bought a second microwave. One's in the hallway now, or in this dude's office.
It's an outdoor microwave.
Yeah.
It's on the patio.
Foreign students use this microwave. People that don't eat weird, gross shit that smells funky use this one.
Look, this is just, you know what? This isn't a racist thing. This is it's another one of those issues where a lefty, instead of just being polite and understanding, like, hey, you know, most people are going to think this stinks, forcing themselves on everybody else. I hate to make this comparison, but it is really the same thing as the trans women should be allowed to play sports thing, because and go hang out in their locker room. A decent person, even if they are, you know, fully dysphoric, would be like, you know, Women probably don't want my wang around them, so I'm not going to take it in there.
Yeah. By the way, when you look at the picture of this guy, he's wearing a fedora.
Yeah.
So he's been Americanized and probably ruined. But here's what his partner had to say. Her name is Ermi. I can't pronounce her last name. She's his partner and fellow anthropology doctoral student. So they're both going to be unemployed.
Yeah.
She said South Asians everywhere frequently face disparaging comments about their food.
Then
She
eat
said,
something better.
No, this is cultural, you bigot. She said curry's delicious. She said one of the main acts of racism against South Asians is to be called curry munchers, which, by
Is
the
that
way,
a
is
thing?
also the name of a porno.
Curry munch. Yeah, it does sound like a porno. Curry munchers. That is a lame insult.
It really is. There are so many better ones out there. Or told that their food is smelly or called unhygienic and dirty because of their food. I have never heard that. I've been around Indian people a lot. I dated an Indian woman for a little while. Not going to hide that fact. I've never heard of them being called unhygienic or dirty because of their food. I've heard it called poverty food because they don't have a lot of food, but
I've heard Indian people called dirty for not washing and smelling like they're French.
yeah, and they bathe in cheap cologne.
Yeah.
But that's got nothing to do with their food.
No. It's not their food making them stink. It's the lack of hygiene of their own body. And hashtag not all, but some for sure.
Yeah. Usually when they're here in the States for a little while, they pick up on the hygiene habits.
Yeah, it's very similar for Europeans who come over here. Y'all stink. Y'all need to bathe more.
Yeah.
And for God's sakes, buy some deodorant. It's not expensive.
There's a thing in Europe where they think that we are obsessed with showering and cleanliness.
Yeah, it's why
No, you're just all dirty.
It's why disease doesn't spread here the way it does there. We're clean.
Yeah, enjoy your plague outbreaks. Which, by the way, India does have the plague still.
Kevisar, thank you. Curry Munchers sounds like Indian lesbians. It really does.
Yeah, like sexy Indian lesbians, like Shilpa Shetty's getting scissoring with some other chick.
Yeah,
I'd watch that. So this lady went on to say it's a tactic to other them and exclude them from community tables and groups. No, but people here aren't used to your weird smelly food, and they don't want to smell it. That's it. That's the entire thing. Is if you were eating a hamburger, they would not other you. But if you're eating something that is different to them and offensive to their nasal passageways,
I think Ebony has latched onto a way or exposed a way that we can get the rest of the world to finally start bathing. She said showers are sexy as fuck.
That's true.
Actually, she said sexy, y'all. I dressed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's a quote from her. Somehow, racism against South Asians is either mocked or it's belittled or it's believed as you're being too sensitive, she said.
You are being too... You're whining because people think your food stinks.
Yeah, grow up, dude. She said, it's just food. It's a huge issue. And food is also something that's really an intrinsic part of South Asian culture. It's part of who we are.
Food is part of who everybody is.
Yeah, because we literally consume it.
Dumbass. Real quick, thank you, who says, dang you monkey, you raw hot dog eater. That is on the same level as insult of curry eater. Sorry,
curry muncher. Yeah, raw dog in it, I guess. So Prakash visited the staff member who made the comments later that day. He said to explain why the comments upset him and resolve the issue. And that dude probably wanted nothing to do with you, weirdo.
So he walked into this guy's room and went, hey, I'm a pussy.
Yeah, and probably in a hothead way, too.
I'm a pussy. There's a ringtone for you guys.
That's even better because he said this to a woman. Prakash said he tried to explain 3 or 4 times why the comment was not okay and the context of it. She denied his points and called in 2 other staff members to the conversation, he said, which took him by surprise. Probably because
No.
you're yelling at this woman and you're a lot bigger than she is.
You're complaining to her about her behavior. She needs witnesses.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
Absolutely.
he was probably screaming and making her uncomfortable too.
Look, if I'm on a college campus, I'm not talking to anybody without a witness or a body cam.
Oh, absolutely.
Hell no.
She made the point doubly that they like to keep the office smelling nice, as if me heating up my food was an antithesis to that. It is to the American nostril. It's unusual, so it stinks.
Ebony, thank you. You haven't ruined me. You're not that influential. Give me time, sweetie. Give me time.
We're working on it, Ebony.
Look,
We'll get you there.
the only reason Indian people don't think it stinks is because they've gotten used to it. That can happen with people who stink. They don't realize they stink.
Yeah. At the most basic level, Prakash said, calling someone's food pungent is rude. That's not inaccurate, but if your food's gross, it's gross. Doesn't matter if it's rude.
But again, contextually, it
Yeah.
could be a compliment.
But with the added context of food racism against
Fuck
South
you.
Asians, it's even more harmful, he said. We've turned the whole world into a bunch of pussies.
We really have.
Prakash
Jesus.
said he tried to explain that a pungent smell can't be quantified because it's subjective. That you just defeated your own argument then.
Yep.
Ham sandwiches, when heated up, smell like ham. So Polak
Ham.
Paneer, which is what I was eating, heated up, smells like Polak Paneer. There's no scale there. Bullshit, because these people aren't used to smelling that scent.
No,
So-
it's even worse than that, because there are you can cook stuff like we talked about the fish earlier. That shit will last for days.
Yeah.
You heat up a ham sandwich, you might smell it while it's heating up, and then the person leaves and the smell goes away.
Yeah, it's like a minute or two. Some food just leaves a residual stench.
Yeah.
After that day, I know I've spent a lot of time on this article, but it's fucking hilarious.
It is. This is one of my favorite racism arguments we've ever heard, because
Oh my
it's
God,
fucking
yeah.
ridiculous.
I seriously do think this is one of the stupidest racist arguments we've ever heard.
I'm here. I'm going to be muted for a second because I'm refilling my drink.
Okay. Hopefully the audience is bored. I can't see chat while I'm reading. After that day, Prakash said he felt diminished, irritated, and sad. On September 7th, he returned. Yeah, on September 7th, he returned to the office to heat his lunch because he felt he had a right to do so, just like anyone else. He'll show them, heating up his food, giving them all the middle finger with scent. He was joined by 4 like-minded students who heated Indian food in the microwave in an act of civil disobedience.
Pussy.
If somebody did that, if there were a group of like 5 people come in just to microwave food in an act of civil disobedience, I would laugh my ass off in their face, pointing at them. Okay, Prakash said, and one of the office staff members started heckling them and making gestures about closing the door to the kitchen. I like that person already. The office staff said his actions were needlessly provocative, or needless provocation after needless provocation. I can't fucking read. According to Prakash, but all he was doing was heating food, and it was not meant to be provocative. That's a lie, because he just said he got 4 other people to join him.
He literally said it was an act of civil disobedience.
Yep. This guy's full of contradictions and whining.
Well, because he's a pussy. Go ahead.
Yeah. On September 12th, he was called into a meeting with 3 faculty who were on his PhD committee. In a meeting that lasted an hour and 20 minutes, he said they told him he'd been reported by the staff for threatening behavior, probably confronting that woman, and insisted the staff were correct in prohibiting him from eating his food. His food.
I was going to say, yeah, because nobody prohibited him from eating. It was making the whole place stink with the heat.
Yeah, don't be a stinky Susie. Prakash said he kept trying to tell them the issue, and they kept speaking over him. No, your issue is retarded, and they were ignoring it. That's different. He said they told him that what he experienced was not racism. Prakash said that the faculty told him the staff reported him to the Office of Student Conduct and Conflict Resolution that he needs to take a training on how to have conversations, which exactly is my point as to why I think that he was being an asshole to that woman. Because
look, before you even get to that part, just the fact that he has these complaints, I
Yeah.
have no doubt he was an ass to that woman.
oh yeah, absolutely. But if they reported him to student conduct for conflict resolution, he most likely was very aggressive with her because they said he was threatening.
Oh, you know what? That's just part of his culture.
Oh yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, you can beat your wife over there, so
That's, I mean,
the university declined to comment on the faculty meeting because of privacy laws. Packish said the faculty were acting like he suddenly had become a maladjusted student, even though he has straight A's. That doesn't mean you're not maladjusted, dude. Is winning grants to conduct research and was accepted into multiple doctoral programs. I'm so smart, I can't be maladjusted.
hey, let's be clear here that when those things happen, when you're like, say, going to what was this, University of Colorado Boulder?
Yeah.
You're applying there to their PhD program. They're not going to have to deal with you very long. They get your records. They see your transcripts. You have a couple of meetings with them. They don't get to see you and find out that you're an asshole who throws fits because somebody said your food stinks.
Yeah, they didn't realize that you were a whiny little baby when they got you.
So pointing that stuff out is literally meaningless. Real quick, Kevisar, thank you. LOL, I would countersued that microwaving his lunch was an act of terrorism. Yes.
Olfactory terrorism. I'm coining that phrase now. It's like stochastic terrorism, but for the nose.
Olfactory, yeah.
So this is his quote. That really disturbed me. I'm kind of old. I'm 32. I've been in various jobs in various countries. I've secured admission to this program and to other PhD programs as well. And you're telling me I'm somehow not a functioning human being and that I'm not able to have a conversation. Have you ever met a PhD student?
Thank you. I was just going there. I've never met a PhD that I didn't think was at least on the spectrum, Jack.
Yeah, I've met a few that are okay, but let's face it, a lot of them are so ingrained in their programs, they really can't get out of that. They're hyper focused on one thing and that's it. And a lot of them have social skills issues.
They kind of have to be focused on it for the program.
Exactly.
And like it leads to, a lot of alone time or only with your peer group, which is often also people who have social issues.
Yeah, and it makes you weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. Most of them will adapt in some regard, but let's face it, a lot of people that do this stuff are super fucking odd.
Mm-hmm.
Prakash said the faculty denied that there was anything exclusionary about the situation. They said that people eat broccoli all the time and that broccoli is also smelly, and it's not about Indian food because they all like Indian food. Yeah, Indian food is largely delicious. It just makes your butthole angry later. Prakash said the difference is they can choose when they have Indian food, but for him, it's a part of everyday life and his culture. Nobody's forcing you to do that, dude. Eat some fucking broccoli. It's good for you.
He can choose what he eats too.
No, it's part of his culture. He's required. It's apparently a law.
All right.
For instance, Prakash said last year he cooked Indian food for a faculty member who heated it up in the same microwave on 3 separate occasions, and the staff never had a problem with it then. Maybe the people that were having a problem with it weren't in the room at the time.
Or again, maybe it's different food, unless he's eating the same, because he didn't say he heated up that specific dish in that sentence.
That's true.
Stop pretending it's all the same. Jack, when I make, let's say I cook on the grill and I make chicken, it does not smell the same as when I cook on the grill and make hamburgers.
Yeah.
They're both cooking on the grill. They're both American foods.
Yeah, you're a bigoted hate monger.
This guy's an idiot and a pussy.
Yeah.
And he's a PhD candidate.
Yeah.
Our colleges are worthless.
Absolutely. So on September, this gets even stupider because on September 13th, the entire anthropology department received an email from one of the faculty members from Prakash's meeting that said foods with strong and lingering smells are banned in the kitchen and that the 3 office staff will help determine what can be heated there. Additionally, the email said no students are allowed to heat anything in the kitchen moving forward.
I just want to point out what was said there.
Mm-hmm.
Strong and lingering smells. Lingering is a big part of this. Even if somebody cooks something that smells nasty, but the smell goes away in like 2 minutes, all right, I could deal with that. Like, I don't want to be here, but no big deal. It's that this stuff stinks for a long time.
Yep. So Prakash and his lady friend, whose name I can't pronounce, replied to everyone in the email to protest the new rules, saying it's discriminatory. They said they immediately lost online access and were blocked from the courses that they teach as teacher assistants. Prakash said his access was restored the next day, but hers was never restored. She became involved when she was one of the 4 students who heated Indian food in the microwave during the act of civil disobedience on September 7th. Well, that's how she got involved. Additionally, she invited Prakash to come to the class she is a teacher assistant for to speak about his experience heating his food. Would you like to talk to my class about the microwave? What a complete joke of a class. I would be like, is this an April Fool's already? What's going on?
You're a student teacher, a teacher in some manner, who's also a doctoral candidate, and you bring in your doctoral candidate boyfriend to talk about microwaving food.
And how it's racist.
Yes, you know what? Amazing Disgrace just said it perfectly. Pick better battles.
Exactly. This is absolutely a case of not only first world problems,
Oh
but
my God.
pick your fucking battles.
Oh.
Real
quick, Colorful Glass also says smells can also affect what's heated next. That's true. That is absolutely true.
Absolutely. I mean, do you really want to microwave your frozen pizza after that?
Right.
Because anthropology is about studying and learning from other cultures, his story was relevant to the course material and valuable for her students, she said.
Wait,
and
stop.
She wonders why she got fired.
No. I'm fairly certain that microwaves are not part of normal Indian life. They are a relatively poor country.
Oh, it's a very poor country.
It's not like the U.S. where every fucking house has a microwave.
Well, they're most likely upper class and not untouchables. So,
but if you're claiming the culture, though, you can't just slap in, oh yeah, the American-made microwave. Yeah, that's part of our culture. Fuck you.
So she got kind of booted from that job. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Well, there's a follow-up to that.
Is there?
After days of uncertainty and financial instability, entire days of financial instability.
Days? Oh my God. Days, I hope they survived.
Yeah, it's like when you when your ATM card gets busted and you got to wait 2 days.
Jesus.
She was offered a graduate assistantship in another office. She lost access to her TA course on September 14th and started the new position on Monday.
So over the weekend?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll actually check here what day September 14th was. Let's see. September 14th was a Thursday. So she lost her job on Thursday and got a different one starting Monday.
She had a 3-day weekend. Relax.
Yeah. Days of uncertainty and financial instability. Your paychecks weren't even interrupted, bitch.
I could give them the uncertainty, but instability?
How bad are you with money?
Jesus.
And again, the university did comment on these allegations. They did confirm she's currently employed as a graduate assistant in the Division of Social Sciences.
Assassin of the Gray points out toilets are not part of Indian culture either, Indian life. Yeah, they should be shitting in the street.
No, they watched the UNICEF Put the Poo in the Loo video. That's a real thing.
I know it is.
I've made you watch it.
Yes, you have.
She said she was worried about losing pay during the job change, but was compensated fully on her next paycheck.
Look, I'm sorry. There's no way that she didn't know she was like her instability probably lasted hours.
Yeah. She got an offer right. Like if she started on Monday, she had to have known about it before the weekend.
Yeah, she had to have known at least by the end of Friday. So she had maybe a day of this insecurity. And here, try this. Don't be a bitch.
Yeah. Well, they started taking their classes online soon after the faculty meeting and email announcement because they didn't feel comfortable entering the building after the hostility surrounding the situation. They took all their classes online until September 28th, where Prakash said one of their professors, who was also in the September 12th faculty meeting, removed online access and asked them to return to class in person. Yeah, quit being a baby and show up.
I'm just wondering what Gandhi would think of this.
I think he might cry. I don't know.
This dude weirdo, who stands up to the British government, the superpower at the time.
Yeah.
And he's like, go fuck yourself. And these guys are like, they made fun of my food.
Hey, Gandhi would have loved to have had their food.
No shit.
He went on a hunger strike. But they said they haven't received an apology or acknowledgement from the department for the racism they experienced. Without an apology or any sort of resolution.
Okay, I was going to say that. What?
Yeah. Without an apology or any sort of resolution, they said they refused to return to class.
That's your choice.
Yeah. Be prepared to go home because that's probably your visa.
And this is going, go ahead and look at another department or another school. Be like, I want to go to your PhD program. One, kind of late in the year for that. But two, now you have this reputation as being a douche.
Yeah, and it's going to follow you. The schools talk.
Mm-hmm.
They complete all the assignments online, but their choice not to attend class in person is hurting their grade because participation counts for 30%, Prakash said. 30%. You should go to class then, you dumb fuck.
Yep. They're doing this to themselves over the dumbest fucking thing. Your food stinks. It's obviously not been a problem before. Bring the other stuff. Jack, I'm going to be honest with you. I've had problems in my life learning to choose my battles. And I've fucked myself over many times because of that, because I just can't keep my fucking mouth shut. But never has it been so dumb that I'm like, I'm not going to participate anymore because you said my food stinks. Who the fuck has a protest where you microwave a bunch of food?
I believe that's just called like a work lunch.
That is lamer than the guy who glued himself to the cooking oil truck.
Or the door that opened
yes.
the other way.
For fuck's sake. I mean, see, your protest was microwaving.
They're also encouraging people to get help from victim assistance, which provides free, confidential, trauma-focused counseling, advocacy, and support. If you were that traumatized by this, you probably need a handler and shouldn't be allowed outside on your own.
Jesus Christ, man. I told you guys this was dumb. I told you.
Yeah, he went on to say, at this point, I feel like my presence as a person of color, and specifically as a man of color, is very unwelcome, Prakash said.
Dude, you just screwed yourself there. Nobody cares about men of color.
Yeah. He said,
ask black guys, man. They're the new white guys.
How do I recover from this?
What a pussy, man.
Yeah. He said they can't immediately move it elsewhere because it's a big financial commitment. The two saved up money for years with what's-her-face, whose name I can't pronounce, working overtime so they could afford to move to the United States from India.
Wait. They said she's a doctoral candidate too, right?
Yes.
Why is she the only one working?
Let's not look into that.
Her overtime. What the fuck? You know what? I kind of have a little more respect for him now. He's Indian Karl Marx. Damn, homie's he's like the Indian Andrew Tate.
Yeah, he's just getting his hose to work.
That's right. Put them hoes to work.
That's how he afforded that sweet fedora he's wearing.
What a bitch.
Practice said they'd like to stay and be advocates for change, but they have to balance that with preserving their mental health and what's best for them.
It is my God-given right as an American to tell you your food stinks. All right. I hold this truth to be self-evident. Your food stinks.
So let me read a couple more quotes here from this clown. Then I'll abandon this because I'm sure people are sick of it. It shows this glaring light on what they think of us as people, what they think of our food, our culture, and our identity, she said, adding, we just feel like we're put in a position where we have to keep shouting ourselves hoarse and telling people what you're doing to us is wrong.
I just want to go on record as saying that my diet is not my identity.
Yeah, because otherwise I'd be more Scottish, and be McDonald's.
I would be probably a trash can. If we're being honest.
That somebody would turn you into glue.
Oh my God.
Practice said they're planning.
I got that reference. It took me a second.
Yeah,
well
I know. Done. A little grenade joke.
Well done.
Thank you. Practice said they're planning to see how the situation is resolved, and then we'll decide what to do from there. He said he wants to see some sort of apology or acknowledgement of the racism and discrimination that occurred.
No. Nothing happened except for you being a giant pussy.
This is the final quote. For me, the biggest shock is the hubris of the fact that anthropology is supposed to learn from others. You're supposed to learn from people who you study. I don't see that.
Well, let's see. Which of you is a fish out of water? All the Americans there, or you?
I think he said you have to kneel before Zod. I'm not sure.
Thank you over in the Streamlabs from Keldrig. Shit, I forgot what it said, Jack.
Uh-oh.
I hate when that happens. My brain is like, okay, I can remember that. And then I start talking and my brain like, nah, not this time. Thank you, Keldrick. Our people, what people? Dumbasses? Yes. This is what we've done to people, man.
Yeah.
This is Western civilization's fault because we have turned people into giant whiny bitches.
Yeah. I'm sorry that article was so long, but I thought it was worth covering. Because it made me, I laughed the entire time I read it the first time. I was like, you people are babies. You are childish crybabies with no problems in life.
It may have bored some in the audience. It didn't bore me at all, or I would have already cut you off.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny as hell.
Oh my God, it was fucking dumb. But I have another dumb article. That one was just dumber, but I'd briefly like to go over this one because...
Well, just before we move on to comment on this one, overall, we've seen a lot of dumb charges of racism and stuff, and this is definitely among the top.
Oh, this is in the top 3 easily. Probably in the top 5 of all-time articles that we've ever read on here. We've read some.
Oh, yes. It's just that a lot of these complaints, even if you take them personally, you don't have to turn it into so much else. There was nothing racist about them not liking the smell of your food. It just it stank.
Wake up and smell the stinky curry.
And we have a problem in this country, and I think Jordan Peterson talked about it best, where you have the victim race.
Yeah.
Like a race to be the biggest victim. And instead of just going, oh, these people didn't like it, and it is kind of offensive to me personally because I love it, they have to turn it into you hate Indian people.
Yeah, offense is taken, not given.
Yeah.
Like if somebody says something rude to you, they may not have meant it rude. In this case, this is fucking dumb. But I don't think
Well-
the people that said, "Well, oh, that's pungent," oof. I don't think that's necessarily rude, much less racist. They're just like, "Oh, I didn't expect that smell."
I would understand him, taking offense to that on a personal level, but not on a for my people level.
Yeah,
Let my people go. Stop using our microwave. But we have this problem in our society right now where everybody's just racing to be the victim.
yeah. It's this sort of main character martyr complex.
It's
Do you know how important
insane.
I am?
We're supposed to be picking ourselves up from our actual struggles and rising above. That's what America is. We succeed when we shouldn't. Took on the British, Jack. Told them to go fuck themselves. There's no way we should have won the revolution. If you look at it on a paper, Jack, we should still be British citizens.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's no reason we should have won that, let alone even push back against that little 2% tax. But hey, man, people fight for strange things.
It is the American spirit. World War II comes around. We don't even really have a decent military apparatus. They completely decimate our Western Navy. And what do? We invent brand new ways to build shit mass produced. We don't fail. That's what we do. And these people are like, oh my God, he said my food stinks. What the fuck have we done to people?
Apparently turned them into blithering crybabies that roll up in the fetal position at the first sign of any pushback for anything.
We put a man on the moon just to tell Russia to go fuck themselves. And you said my curry stinks. Jesus Christ.
Get over it. Man up, pussy.
Anyhow, you said you had another article there.
Yeah, just a real brief one here. This is actually from earlier in the month. We didn't get around to it.
Sure.
It's from Bounding into Comics. Magic the Gathering head designer says Wizards of the Coast is avoiding the term witch because it's a real-world religious identifier.
Oh, fuck off.
They are considering retiring druid and shaman for the same reason.
Fuck off. Oh my God. What? Oh, geez. All right.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking dumb.
And
And
look, I will respect most religions, Jag, and be like, all right, that's what you believe. But if you tell me you're a witch, I'm gonna laugh at you.
Look, we got some pagans in the audience, and if that's what you believe, that's what you believe. I don't. It doesn't bother me at all.
No,
I don't really care. Do you? If that's what makes you happy, cool. I don't care.
If you tell me you're putting a hex to kill Donald Trump, and you need all the other witches out there to join you, I'm gonna laugh at you.
Oh, those aren't real people. Those are Wiccans. Those aren't pagans. Pagans are cool. Wiccans are middle-aged women and sit around and drink pumpkin spice, have like fake book clubs where they talk about how great they are. In their continuing campaign to make their once beloved tabletop offerings an inclusive and as unoffensive as possible, Magic the Gathering head designer Mark Rosewater has revealed that not only has Wizards of the Coast begun to avoid the term witch because it's a real-world religious identifier, but the company is also looking to retire druid and shaman character types for the same reason.
Hang on. Thank you, Corey, who says they renamed Halloween to Fall Harvest Dress Up Day at my elementary school because of this bullshit. Are you fucking with me?
Right. Nope, I totally believe that's a real thing.
Thank you, Corey, but that's fucking retarded.
No, it sounds right. It's that South Park episode where they got rid of all the Halloween or the Christmas stuff, and they were just doing some weird performance art piece.
It's Halloween.
Rosewater, who has served in his current position since 2003, confirmed Wizards of the Coast's new approach to such terms while speaking with fans on his personal Tumblr blog.
That makes sense.
There's a link to it too. Asked on September 28th by fellow Tumblr user, who cares, why isn't witch a type? It seems like it has a much stronger identity than a warlock. Rosewater asserted witch is a real-world religious identifier, so we chose to avoid it. So is warlock, you idiot!
Yep.
Following up on the designer's answer, another player.
Wait, should they get rid of the fighter class as well? There's real world fighters, or is it okay because that's not a religion?
It's okay because it's not religious, I guess.
All right, I guess.
And nobody cares about fighters. Following up on the designer's answer, another player pressed if witch is excluded because of its significance as a real-world religious identifier, why are shaman and druid creature types allowed, I assume? He just writes poorly. To this, he responded, we are currently examining that exact topic. I bet they spent hours talking about this at their stupid little meetings.
There's several that have been brought up, and thank you, first of all, Kerbasar of Old, who says, okay, so what about paladin or cleric? Cleric is a good one.
Oh, yeah.
But also has been brought up as monk. Monk is absolutely a religious thing.
They'd also have to get rid of like imam and jihad, and various other words. You could probably even go with like some of the demon stuff that they used to have. I don't know if they still do. I haven't played in 20 years.
Sure.
Answering one final question on the topic, Rosewater met some asshole stupid fucking name question of, is there a particular reason that is more acceptable in card names than as a creature type? With the answer, creature types are used for vocabulary for how people group cards together in a way card titles aren't. So it's acceptable to say witch in one context, but not in another. For example, priests have existed in card names since the early days of Magic, but no one is building a priest deck. He ultimately affirmed. He affirmed it. Our issue is people using vocabulary as game terms in a way where it takes meaning beyond identifying a particular card.
That's retarded. That's even dumber.
Yep.
All right.
People were saying, please don't phase out druids. I always enjoyed seeing local Celtic culture represented, and they pretty much got a big fuck you for that. So,
well, that's another thing. I mean, are there a whole bunch of witches out there like, oh my God, did you know people are calling their deck a witch deck?
Yeah, nobody says that. Nobody. That's not a real thing.
It's kind of like the last article. It's just people sitting around making up shit to be offended by.
Oh, absolutely.
He didn't even give an example of anybody being offended by it. It's just him.
Yeah.
And the name of the deck is something that kind of happens organically. People will go, okay, this is a witch deck. It's not even like an official thing.
No. Like goblin decks, you tend to have a lot of goblins in there and sorted related stuff. But this is WotC's patterned behavior. As the article says, previously, the tabletop publisher has both removed a history of enslavement from the lore of the Hados species in Dungeons and Dragons due to some players finding the language to be offensive to black people.
Because only black people have been slaves.
Yes, that's
we all know.
History. That's just a fact. As well as undertaking an internal effort to avoid using the term tribal in regards to Magic the Gathering due to its negative connotations.
There's no negative. Well, I mean, I guess there can be negative connotation to tribal, but there are actual tribes out there.
No. All tribals are POC. There are no tribes of like white travelers in England. Nope. One of the nice things they did for this article, though, is they put an image from the Magic the Gathering expansion they did recently where they had Lord of the Rings, where Aragorn is black.
Yes.
Yeah. Because race swapping is okay when they do it.
I'm a little offended that they didn't bring up the wheelchairs.
Yeah, that's kind of unofficial right now. They're going to include it later, I have no doubt. But they did get rid of half species as well, and they took out the racial bonuses for orcs. So there you go.
They're destroying their brands, and there's still going to be people who play it. There's people who play 5th edition D&D, and that shit sucks, honestly.
They've really watered it down. It's really sad. 5th edition,
It's
methodology of the game's fine, but they've really neutered that.
it's more complicated than it used to be. If, like, say you go back to second or even third edition, they've added a lot more stuff, but they've also watered down what makes it fun. Anyway,
Well, all the revisions they've done are stupid. The new version is coming out soon, and that's going to be really, really milquetoast. So if you like 5e, better buy up the books now because they're going to be jumping in price, I have no doubt. Thank you, Evolved Potato. That's just stupid. The name Halloween comes from the older name All Hallows Eve because November 1st was All Hallows Eve Day, also known as All Saints Day. It was Christian origins, and the pagan costume traditions were added on later. Well, the festival of Samhain predates All Saints Day.
yep.
But
That's
All
for my
Saints Day
people.
was celebrated to kind of take over that one because it's a solstice holiday.
Yeah, for the record, as an Irishman, I do grant y'all permission to culturally appropriate on the 31st, and I hope you take advantage.
Yeah, because Halloween's awesome. And thank you, Keldrick. Watsy should retire cleric, angel, demon, devil, Oni, god, warlock, monk, avatar, demigod, jinn, imp, inquisitor, mystic, Nephilim, and Scion, if that's the case.
True.
You're dropping a lot of hate facts there, Keldrick. Yeah, I think this is actually pretty insulting to people that are actual pagans because they're saying that like your word is offensive.
It's insulting to anybody with intelligence. That we used to understand that these were fantasy games.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to be like, oh no, we got to have in the real world, black people were slaves, so you can't have slaves in there anymore.
Yeah, you can't. Why would you want to have a game where you could liberate slaves? Like in Dungeon of the Slave Lords.
When you say Irishman, how long did you live in Ireland for? I didn't. It's my ancestors did. That's how ancestry works. I am red-blooded American, but my ancestors, I got the green blood, Jack.
Oh, look at you, weirdo. What are you, a
I
Vulcan?
I will drink you under the table while eating a potato. Don't fuck with me.
Ew.
And then I'll punch you just for the fun of it. Oh, man. The Europeans get really mad if you point out your heritage. You know why? It's because most of them don't even know where their heritage is because they took each other over so often, and most of them are probably German anyway. I'm just saying. If you're going by conquest and stuff, most of them probably German.
Well, I'm sure either Roman or German lineage somewhere in there.
They're Greco-Romanian Germany. I don't know. But yeah, then blame me for the potato famine. Why'd you have a potato famine? We had a potato famine in my house, Jack, because we ran out of money for groceries.
Oh, yeah.
When I was a kid, not now. I'm okay for the moment.
That's happened to me a little more recently than I care to think about. But yeah, this is just dumb. It's a slap in the face to people that aren't Judeo-Christians, honestly, because they're getting rid of terms like druid and shaman.
Yeah.
Why would you be offended by that? You should be like, yeah, fuck yeah, they're awesome. You should have totally have my people in there.
Kevin Sarvold, thank you so much. Who says monk intelligence is racist? I've heard that.
That's what Oregon State thinks because they've lowered the standards, so you don't need to read or write anymore. Do you know of the game called Smite? Sounds vaguely familiar.
Smite is a Dota type game.
What's a Dota?
Fuck. What does Dota stand for? It's a very intricate tower defense game, basically.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I thought it was doing only thick ass.
No, but that's a whole different game. In this game, you play as gods who fight each other, and there's Hercules in there and Aphrodite and just tons of them. But they've stayed away from Christian religion and their gods, and the Abrahamic religions.
Okay.
I haven't played in a while. MOBA. Sorry, MOBA, not Dope. No. Anyway, I always wanted them. I don't know if they have since because I haven't played in a really long time, but I always wanted them to put like Jesus in there as a healer. It would have been great. And if Christians got mad, just tell them to calm down. It's just a game.
Yeah, nobody cares about offending Christians.
MOBA's the game type. Dota's what started it all. Okay, fair enough. I don't play them. The only one I ever played was Smite. I don't play like League of Legends or any of that shit. But I know of them. Smite I did play because my sons played it, and I was watching them one day. I'm like, all right, I'll try it, and I got hooked for about 4 months, and it's a lot of fun. But come on, man, bring in Moses, bring in Muhammad, and have him, like his special ability is to marry a 9-year-old, and it brings everybody down.
And nobody's ever able to draw a picture of him.
Anyhow. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to wrap up here, Jack. We're almost 3 hours into this.
Oh, do you want to play the exit video?
Which one is it?
It's the fourth link up.
Fourth link up. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one. I want to try to play it, but with the internet. Wait, why did it bring that up? That does not look like the right thing. The one says no cat's life, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. It opened a different one for some reason.
That's weird.
Interesting. We're going to try to play it, Jack. We'll see how my internet holds up.
It's just good exit video while we're saying our goodbyes.
Oh, I've seen this one. It's cute.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn off
a
the volume.
Palate cleanser from all the dumb shit that we do.
This is Kyle. Thank you. Said I wanted to play as Jesus in Smite. Make him respawn. Make his respawn timer 3 days long. That's fucked up.
You could resurrect other people, Lazarus style.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so guys, we're going to wrap up here. Thank you so very much. They're so cute. I love kittens.
Yeah, they're adorable.
I love their little ears, man. I turn into mini-me when I see their little ears. Like, I just want to eat them. I don't know why. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming and hanging out with us tonight. Thank you so very much for the donations. You guys are awesome. We really do appreciate it. Every tip y'all give us helps us, eat, and we like that. So,
yeah,
I can't speak for Jack because I've seen pictures of you a long time ago. I haven't seen anything recent. So, you might say you're fat, but I don't know if I believe you. I actually am.
Yeah, I'm fat.
So, I appreciate y'all helping me get food that doesn't stink people out. I'm just saying. I don't want to have to burn tires for lunch. You know what I mean? Poor people leave laying around. It's called a callback, y'all. Jack, anything you want to show?
I got nothing. Thank you all so much for the tips. Like you said, it really helps out, keeps us going, keeps the show on the road.
All right. There is a new game that's come out, and I was thinking about playing it, but I don't know if I can. City Skylines 2 came out, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are fans of that game. And I do have it, but I was reading the reviews as I was waiting for it to download, and it's got a lot of performance issues. It's got ED or something like that. And, I have to test it before I can, play it on stream. So I won't be playing tonight, but hopefully tomorrow we'll be playing the new City Skylines. And I didn't get the ultra expensive one that has all the extra packs, so it's just going to be base game. And we'll see what happens. And come out and watch that tomorrow. They delayed console by 6 months. I don't know how you play that game on console. I mean, I guess it is tile-based, so it's not too bad. But my first time playing SimCity, I played on the Nintendo.
Oh, wow.
Was it Super Nintendo that they brought SimCity to? I think it was Super Nintendo. Yeah, that's where I first played SimCity.
I tried playing Sims on PS1. It was fucking unplayable.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming out. Jack, a pleasure as always, my friend.
Always glad to be here.
Everybody have a wonderful night. We'll take care of you. I'm not taking care of you.
We can't write all of you off on our taxes.
If I could, I would, but I can't. So thank you for coming out. We appreciate you. We love you. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody. Watch out for stinky microwave food.
I'm not your daddy. I'm not taking care of you. If you're in the Middle East, it's possible you're a Jew.